Hello, everybody. It's Lily Cute time. I am Cutie Roo SR, go by Roo, and I am ready for tonight's show. I am super excited. We have a fun race coming up, and it's going to be Gris, any percent, and NMG between It's Butters and Aggie. So we're going to be having that right now. But before we get into this, I just want to kind of say a few things since we have a lot of events coming up. Just a few reminders. Flame Patels will be having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Patels, in late August. Game and volunteer submissions open right now until May 22nd. So get those submissions in, everybody. So if anyone's interested, type the command FF in chat or go to gamesdonequick.com. And I always say /, but anywho, gamesdonequick.com, Frame Patels for info. And another thing is, that SGDQ event that coming up, it's going to be next month. So SGDQ 2022, this year's SGDQ is coming up at the end of June. So make sure to go to the website for more information about the event. Registration is capped, and a reminder, if you registered, remember to update your vaccine info on the site by May 23rd for anyone who is registered and going to the event. Alrighty, so I have a few people to show this race. I want to introduce everybody. We have a few people on call here. Aggie, say hi, and Butters and Tassel Food, but I want to say Taz.
Hi.
And so our two runners, Aggie and Butters, are going to be racing against each other, and Tass will be commentating. Whenever you are both ready, just give us a countdown. Who wants to do the countdown?
I think Tass should do the countdown.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. So
such a big responsibility.
Yes, it's the best responsibility. Whenever you're ready, Aggie, count us down.
Yep.
And that always goes on honk.
Yes.
I don't think I am.
So, yeah. I think we're having. Yep. So whenever you're ready, Tass, to give us another countdown with the honks.
Oh.
Wait, one sec.
It's a little bit challenging to.
Yeah. I think we both started.
You have to fully close the game out and reopen it to get out of the cutscene.
Right.
It's unskippable, and it's 2.5 minutes long. So you have to just close the game.
Yep.
Oh, righty.
Thankfully with Twitch, I can do the home button now.
Yep. Well, I mean,
so,
hey.
There we go.
The more you know.
Starting to good stuff. So Aggie is playing on Switch. We'll talk, once this starts up, we'll talk a little bit about why that is. But for the beginning here, the point of note is that the Switch has load times of about 6 to 7 seconds right at the start that PC does not have. So you're going to see a little bit of a desync right at the beginning. Okay.
No, I hit my button again too fast.
Oh, yeah. So because you don't have a save file, Butters,
right?
It only has the one prompt, not the two.
Yep.
I
thought about that as soon as I hit it.
Yeah, the way Gris saves and handles save files is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
And this is one of the ways why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whenever.
So, all right. Okay. So
intentionally just have save files. The save files saved elsewhere, just in case.
Yeah, this is good information.
So yeah, when you start, you only have one save file, and when you start a new game, it deletes your prior save files, and it doesn't recreate a new save file. until you get to the very first part of the game, about 3 minutes in after the initial cutscene. So if you close the game out and come back, you have no cutscene, and therefore it doesn't ask you a prompt. Do you want to delete your cutscene, your save file, and start over? Anyway,
All right.
are we both ready, folks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. We'll do it again.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So they are both off, and we have a wonderful 2.5 minute long cutscene to start things off, followed by about 40 seconds of slow walking. So we do have about 3 minutes and 19 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds that there's a little bit of dead time so we can talk. So what is Gris? Gris is a beautiful game as art platformer. It was released in December of 2018 by Nomada Studios. They are based in Spain. And if you know Spanish, Gris is a Spanish word meaning gray. So that has a lot to do with the game. The game is all about colors and how those colors relate to emotions. And so you may have heard of the 5 stages of grief, but that's actually a misnomer. It's like a very common misconception that you shouldn't really call them 5 stages of grief. Instead, they are the 5 emotions of grief. And so those are anger, depression, bargaining, or anger, sorry, we get that in correct order. Anger, wow, I'm forgetting on it.
Denial?
Yes, denial, thank you for the first one. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. There we go, much appreciated. So those are represented by colors. So denial is white, anger is red, bargaining is green, depression is blue, and acceptance is yellow. And so you're going to see those colors throughout the game, but because it's not a linear process, they're not stages, you don't just go from one to next to the next to the next, you're going to see, and if you pay attention as you watch through this race, you'll see that those colors blend together. And Gris is just one giant world. So there are going to be little places where the runners spend about a full minute, maybe even slightly more, kind of just moving through the areas. And that's, again, representing that they're moving through various emotions, or in certain places they might be traveling over them. And so we're finished with this intro cutscene, and we have some slow walking. The other piece, the plot that's kind of going on is we are Gris. That is the name of our character, and our mother passed away, and we're trying to figure out how to deal with that. And that is obviously a really, really hard thing to deal with. And it's going to take us, an hour and 30-ish minutes to come to terms. So as we progress, we are in denial. It is white. This is the shortest area of the game. It should take our runners 6-something minutes, give or take. And then the other kind of 4 emotions are each 15 to 20 minutes. And then there is a little bit of a final thing at the end, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Our runners are bunny hopping, as you can clearly see. They're hopping and bopping around. Why are they doing that, you might ask? Well, it is 3% faster. Don't know why it was programmed that way, but walking on flat ground has a speed of, I think, 3.2, which in itself is a meaningless number. But when you are in the air, you move horizontally at 3.3. And that is 3% faster. You actually move slower if you are walking up a slope, so it's even more beneficial to jump and spend as little time as possible as you are going up slopes as well. So you will be seeing our runners jump throughout the entirety of the run. Be prepared. I know I saw earlier in chat someone mentioned about NMG, and that stands for no major glitches. There are not a ton of major glitches in Gris. In fact, until recently, there was only one. There was an out-of-bounds skip that was only available on the 1.0 version of the game. It was quickly patched out, and it skips one of the sections in Depression. It's you go through some underwater areas, and you're able to clip out of bounds and completely skip the underwater section. It's a very sad underwater movement. Once we get the ability to move through it, super fun. So it pretty much became close to a dead category once the patch came out, and people didn't really want to down patch, and it's fun to swim, so nobody really wanted to do that. But it still exists. It's a category on the leaderboard if you're interested. And then recently, a new major glitch was found. It was super exciting. It was originally thought to be Switch only. This is the reason that Aggie is playing on a Switch. Aggie has been doing a large amount of testing on this new major glitch to see where it can be used, how it can save time. Is it faster than down patching 1.0 and doing the skips on PC? Because Switch, you cannot down patch, so you can't do the out of bounds skip. And so those are kind of wrapped into the same category. But there is some slowdown skips that you can do that allow you to basically preserve incredible amounts of momentum. And that's used by going to the home screen and then quickly coming back. It can be replicated on PC. We did find using mostly using external tools to slow down your computer and lag it to the point where it would simulate going to the home screen on a Switch unit. But no one has yet done a full run with this tech. However, we won't be talking about it anymore because it is banned in this category. So our runners are coming up to the end of Denial. Do note, as you can see on Aggie's side, that they jumped into a hand, or a statue of a hand to be more precise, and Butters right behind. Notice the color palette changes. You can see the progression here from Denial to Anger. Pay attention to the hand, though. We're going to see some changes to it, but we are going to finish each of our areas in the hand, mostly. And then you also probably noticed that our runners collected some little shiny bits. We call those stars. They are going to get deposited up into the sky. So they're used to kind of like block and route progression that you kind of need. You can't skip any of them in the game. And we are returning to a central hub. As I mentioned, Gris is a game that is basically one giant map. And then this is our central hub area. So after we complete each of the emotions, we return to the central hub to deposit our stars. And fun fact, there is star RNG. There is very minimal RNG throughout Gris. One of the places, though, is depositing stars into the sky. It results in very minimal RNG in terms of how the stars move up. We dived into the game code, and it is hard-coded by the developers that star RNG exists. But thankfully, it's maybe like 1 to 2 seconds at most throughout an entire run that's going to change from star RNG. In this category, altogether, there's only a couple of seconds worth of RNG. So it all comes down to execution, and you have no one to blame but yourself. I saw in chat someone asking, what is the current record? So for this category, no major glitches, the current record is 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 53 seconds by Skylar. And our runner PBs, Aggie has a 1:24:47, and Butters just set a PB earlier today with a 1:31, and let me grab it, it's on the leaderboard, 1:31:44. And just like any art and piece of highbrow, we have a very late logo and opening cinematic. So you can see that our runners are starting to get it. They're going to climb this little tower here, and we will finally be starting the game. runners, how are we doing?
Yeah, doing okay.
Yeah, doing
It's,
all right.
it's very kind for the game to remind us what the name of the game we're playing is.
It is. It is incredibly nice of them. So this is still kind of the transitionatory period as we move from that hub area to the red area. And we're gonna. So there's most of the areas of the game. So the 4 areas can be divided into 2 parts. The first part is basically just platforming, and there may or may not there's going to be a little bit of a gimmick in each of the sections. But then after reaching a halfway point and acquiring a small number of stars, we'll get a power up. And then the second half will be additional platforming while utilizing that power up. And as our runners are bopping along, we're fast approaching the gimmick of the first half of Red, of Anger. And our runners are into it. We can see on Aggie's screen. No, Aggie's not going to practice. But this is the Sandstorm section.
I went slightly early.
So in the Sandstorm section, basically we are hard fixed on the cycles of the Sandstorm, or at least we were for a long period of time. But record holder Skylar came up with a piece of tech later on within these cycles of Sandstorms that'll actually allow us a potential to skip one of the last Sandstorm cycles. And there's a partial skip that we call and a full skip, depending upon how much kind of bonus movement you're able to get by doing what we refer to as a shimmy, because it kind of looks like you're shimmying about in midair to do the trick. It's very fun. We'll show it off in a second.
I am notoriously terrible at it.
We all are.
Oh.
Yeah.
But our runners are coming up on it. So on Aggie's side, you can see there's just a nice momentum jump right there. There are some sections where you auto slide down slopes, and if you jump off the end of them, you preserve that momentum and speed. And that is faster than your 3.3 normal movement. So you do want to be able to jump off of the end of all of your slopes to preserve the momentum. So we're coming up here right now. Our runners are going to try to get 3 shimmies. They're going to basically try to jump in the air. So this is the one Sandstorm where they're moving in the direction with the Sandstorm. So Butters not able to get it. It's a difficult trick to explain. Aggie also not getting it. But to tell you about what it would be like is if you are on the ground and not holding into the Sandstorm, you will instantly get rolled up and pushed by the Sandstorm. So what you have to do is, because it pushes you in the direction you already want to go, as the Sandstorm starts, you jump into the air, and then right before you land, you need to switch from holding left to holding right to push yourself back into the Sandstorm, land, jump again, and then switch from holding right to holding left. And you do that 3 times, and you can get enough distance back left that you can then get up these ramps for the next Sandstorm cycle. And then as we leave this large rock friend that we are entering and grabbing a ride from, we are able to exit and actually completely skip the Sandstorm cycle that we're going to be now hitting at the end of our little rock friend. So
I like to call this friend Hell's Moving Castle.
yeah, aptly named for sure. So not able to show it off. It is a pretty tough trick for runners to do. The Gris, I would definitely say that the more time a trick saves, the harder it is.
I was gonna say that's the second hardest one to do.
Yeah, and it saves the second most time of any of the tricks in this game and in this run. And we'll talk about once we get to acceptance about the hardest trick in the game, because of course it is also at the end of the run. But we have an entire hour or so before we reach that fun point. Instead, we're gonna get our first power up. I hope everyone is pumped for our first power up, because it's hip to be square. I'll tell you that.
It is hip to be squared.
If you've played the game, you know my terrible joke right there, and if not, you're gonna see it in about 3 seconds. So Gris is a super approachable speedrun. If you're new to speedrunning, or you watch GDQ but are intimidated by actually getting into and trying to speedrun yourself, and you like platformers, Gris is like a great introductory game. For the most part, like, you don't have to do some of these tough tricks that I'm going to talk about, but the game itself is super chill. You can't die. The run is very chill and incredibly easy to learn. And the community is also still surprisingly active for a game that is 3+ years old and hasn't been super active in general. I would say 2019 was the high point in activity, but the majority of the runners from that time period are still around and helpful for new runners. So tech and tricks are not lost for new folks, and we would love to have everyone join us on this sad adventure together.
I think my first time playing Gris, it was like 2.5 hours, and I went from that to speedrunning at 1:45.
Yeah.
I want to know your opinion of this pit that I just came out of. Like, what do you think that represents?
What was that?
What do you think? So I just came out of the pit. What do you think that represents?
I mean, so I see it as, you're free falling down into the depths of your anger. You're smashing through things. I tend to take it a little bit literally. Do you see it differently?
Because of what you do in the pit, I see it as you trying to kind of push away from yourself what you don't like about yourself. And that comes into play with all the things that you deal with in later levels. Or later emotion story.
Yeah, I can see that. So we're finishing up the windmill.
Oh no.
Yeah, Aggie had a little bit of trouble, but made it up second try. So interesting with the windmill is that if you're standing on the windmill, it actually rotates slower. So you have it. Obviously, you want to jump anyway because, as we've already talked about, it's just faster. But even more so on the little windmill turnings because they slow down greatly with Gris's weight. And there's a small discussion in chat about game pronunciation. I assure you, it is pronounced Gris. That is how the word is pronounced in Spanish. Spanish is a 100% phonetical language, and so if you know the sound of a letter, it always makes that sound in Spanish. And so an I in Spanish makes a hard E sound. Gris. I took Spanish in high school. I know these things.
I took Spanish and French in high school, but I only took like the first level for both. So I know a little bit, but
You dipped your toe in.
yeah, I dipped my toe into the pool, but I didn't quite go in the deep end.
So Butters came up to and smashed a little piece of rock. Aggie is right behind, coming up to it. So I'm going to talk about a small piece of tech that you could do and that's the first instance where you can do it. And there's going to be many other instances throughout the rest of the run where you can do it. Neither of our runners got it, but we call it an insta heavy. And so what it is there's the way the game is programmed is that Gris does not like to have her heavy form open up inside of another object or any like wall or edge or piece of rock that it may be. And so basically if you do a heavy on an immediate first frame of something or a first pixel of something, so there's a crack in between the hard and the breakable section on that rock. It works off of the edge of cliffs. It works in a number of places. If you do a heavy on this correct pixel, it will skip the animation because the game will just be like, no, I'm going to open up inside and this would be bad. I don't know if it was around in the 1.0 version of the game. I think it might be like an anti-clipping, anti-out of bounds technology. I'm not actually quite sure, but it would make sense from a programming standpoint. And so basically it skips the animation of opening up your body into the heavy, which saves roughly half a second. So it's not a big time save, but because it's a pixel perfect trick, it feels really good every time you're able to get it. And I would say that top runners can probably get it. I would say probably twice a run would be pretty normal. Maybe more if you're on it, but maybe zero also if you're not. So, but there's enough opportunity through it, so you can always be like, "Hey, got the insta," and it feels nice, feels good, man. And so our runners did diverge here. It looks like Butters went and did left side first, and then Aggie did right side first. But
yeah, I wanted to do right first, but I fell.
So it does happen, but they are converging back in the middle. You could see on Aggie's side that they were able to move fast up those stairs and not have to heavy the balloon back down again. They were able to just beat the balloon up and be very speedy. So you'll notice that throughout this game there are lots of stairs. There are just stairs everywhere. And I don't know if that in and of itself has symbolism. It probably does, but I'm not smart enough to know what it means. Chat, if you have some theories, please throw them out. But basically, being able to jump properly upstairs is definitely a big optimization in this game. And there is some like very slick frame perfect jumping that you can do where you almost kind of glide upstairs if you keep timing your jumps correctly on them, and it's so satisfying. So you can also insta heavy here right off the edge. Nope, didn't happen, but trigger in this Ferris wheel. So we are coming up to the end of anger. I hope we've all worked out the majority of our aggression, the majority of our angers.
I worked out through mine, although I didn't have any.
Same. So, fun fact, in 1.0, if you went off the edge of the top of that Ferris wheel and then tried to heavy, you wouldn't actually activate that pressure plate for the Ferris wheel.
Yes. There's actually 2 spots in the entire game that were basically like nerfed after the 1.0. And so that spot right there is one of them. And then we can point out the other one when we get to it. But if you are running the true any percent category on the 1.0 version, you have to be cognizant of those 2 small changes. Otherwise, you're in for a bit of a rude awakening. So while the out of bounds skip saves like 2.5 minutes, you do wind up losing like 2 or 3 seconds because of the lack of nerfs in that build. But yeah, this game is super like player friendly in general, and is meant to not be a punishing game. It's about the journey.
We could share this journey together.
Yes.
Honestly, this game is one of my, I don't know what it is about it, but the music just, the music's just so like, every time I hear it, it just melts my ears in happiness.
Shoutouts to Berlinist, who is the orchestral group who did the entire soundtrack of Gris. So okay, I'm gonna be fighting a little bit with both of our runners here. They are both Team Yellow, so there is strong contention within the Gris speedrun community. Both of our runners just bopped past a pot, and it's a breakable pot that is going to be used later in like 45 minutes, and it takes roughly 1.5 seconds to break any pot. And most runners will break the pot right there as they traverse back at the end of red before going to green. But both of our runners here are on Team Yellow and are going to break the pot 45 minutes from now. So as a staunch Team Green myself, I cannot condone the late pot breaking action. So right now our runners are bopping their way over to green to bargaining, and you can't really tell from here, but they're actually moving over the denial area to get to bargaining. So again, this works into the nature of flowing between our emotions. You can kind of see it a little bit and pick on it because of the white clouds that you can see below this path that we're on. Hey, that was an insta right there for Aggie. So half second saved.
Yay. I know it seems not a lot of time, but it is a lot of time in this speedrun.
Yeah, so top runners, I would say top runners, their PBs are usually about 15 seconds off of sum of best. And so because the run is very consistent, and because the run has very little RNG and only a small number of particularly challenging tricks, we've been able to pretty strongly optimize against our sum of best. So
got it.
Yeah, so Butters just hit an Aggie coming up on our first little instance. It's introducing us to these cycle-based trees that we're going to be dealing with for most of this section. That's kind of our gimmick here. And if you're playing casually, you probably are going to try to do this on a one cycle, and you're going to fail it, and then you're going to get annoyed, and you're going to go around, and you're going to try to do it again, and you're going to fail again, and then eventually you're going to go and hit it. But our runners are good enough that, and again, the game is very forgiving. You are able to make that in one cycle. Because the platforms you can actually stand on as they're disappearing and even slightly after they've already disappeared. So we also have coyote jumping that is possible in this game. There's slight coyote frames, and we will take advantage of those. More on that later. Teaser, we call it in the biz. So Butters and Aggie both getting up to these fun little triangle pieces, and Butters getting a little bit of some momentum jump there. Aggie just dominating the cycle there, got so far ahead of it that they actually weren't able to get momentum off the triangle, but still a little bit of a flex in my opinion. Something else we didn't mention. So you can see on Butters and on both runners' side that there's like a whole bunch of other trees above them that they're now ignoring. You might say, why are they ignoring it? That is because that is a path for a memento. And what is a memento? A memento is a optional collectible, which we do not get in either of the any percent categories. We do get them in the all mementos category, which you're going to get to see on GDQ Hotfix on June 1st on Never Before Seen by me. So
I was about to say, like, isn't there a little more information for that?
So tune in. Not to strongly plug another show, but to plug another show.
No, plug the show. We love the plugging. Plug away.
So there will be more Gris on GDQ in another couple weeks. But for this run, we do not collect any of the 28 mementos that are found throughout the game, or watch the additional cutscenes. So you're going to see a lot, and you're going to see a lot of lore in this run, but you're not going to get to see all the lore. If you want to see all of the lore, you're going to have to come back on June 1st. This is Macaroni. Macaroni is our tree friend who likes apples. Say hello to Macaroni, please, chat. Why is it Macaroni?
Yeah, why is it Macaroni? I have to know this now.
Sure. So I came up with that name many moons ago. It's been adopted by the community. The whole community calls little tree friend Macaroni, or most of the community. And so basically what it is if you look, Macaroni has 3 feathers sticking out of its head. And I like to think of Yankee Doodle, and he stuck a feather in his hat, and he called it Macaroni.
Macaroni,
and
yeah.
Our little tree friend has the 3 feathers in his head, and I thought that was pretty Macaroni.
It is. Oh, I love that. I love that explanation.
And so the community liked the explanation, and the name kind of stuck. If you look there's no official name in the game, but in the game code, the creature is referred to as Kodama.
Oh, Kodama. I like that.
Which is a tree spirit?
Yes, I think it's something like that in Japanese.
That's so good. I actually like that as a name.
Yeah, so Aggie, if you just saw real quick, Aggie kind of just like jerked forward. That was not a glitch in the Matrix. That was another weird little tech that Gris has, similar to an insta-heavy. Gris does not like to have her head cut off. Granted, I don't think any of us particularly like to have our head cut off, but basically, if Gris jumps through any sort of diagonal line of geometry in like the object and environment, and it bisects Gris's neck, the game will push Gris in the downward direction. And so we call that a zip. Again, it saves very little time. It can be done in a half a dozen or so places. But again, just like an insta-heavy, it's a fun little thing to try to go and try to get as you're going through a run and call out, ooh, I got the zip. And that one right there is actually kind of a free zip. If you do the heavy, it kind of positions you in a spot. And then if you do a full jump, it basically sets you right up for that zip. And it's a juicy zip as well. So Aggie nailing the juicy zip.
Juicy zips, huh?
Yeah. And now, there is 1 or 2 spots where you can actually have this backfire on you. Because, as I said, it pushes you in the downward direction. Sometimes the downward direction is away from you. And there's one spot in particular on the Ferris wheel. We've already passed it, so it is not a fear anymore. But there is a spot on the Ferris wheel where you can get a zip, and it just pushes you straight off the Ferris wheel, and you have to kind of like navigate all up again, and I think it loses like 10 seconds. And we call that the bad zip. But thankfully, no bad zips, only good zips here. And say hello to Macaroni again, and then say goodbye to Macaroni. We are never going to see them again, unfortunately.
No.
I know.
I wish Macaroni was in the game all the time.
Me too. Because Macaroni is very cute.
Agreed.
I have a plushie of Macaroni.
Oh, can I steal
plushie is
it?
so cute.
Can I just steal it?
You cannot steal it, but I think they're still available for sale on Gris's website, on the
Okay.
Nomada website.
Okay.
They're available for sale on the Fangamer website.
Yeah, so I think it's linked to from Nomada and stuff, but yeah, it's all through Fangamer. There's some delicious Gris merch, including a macaroni plushie.
And
That
that's really cool
plushie
shirts.
rocks. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
chat.
Thank you.
It's such a good plushie. I
So-
have mine above my bed protecting me.
Yeah, as a good tree spirit should. So you may notice these trees are red. They are angry trees, and they do not behave the same as the green trees, which are just on cycles. The red trees, they change every time you jump. And so our runners know that, and there's like very specific movement that goes and you don't lose any time, and it's easy peasy. And we'll go and collect our next star. It's
I
all
have
right.
to admit,
Aggie, make sure to take a deep breath and relax.
we could all take deep breaths and relax together. It's always good to take deep breaths.
Yeah. So you can't bop around when you're on the red trees though, because
I got distracted.
I have made that mistake on the last one.
Oh, we've all made that mistake. Yeah.
Yep.
Technically, you actually can, but it's kind of I don't think it's quite frame perfect, but it's very spicy of a strat if you wanted to try to do that, and literally no one does. So we've gotten our second power up though. This is our glide. It is our version of a double jump and our flight ability. So one big thing to note in regards to movement, since this is a new movement tech, it is slower to double jump and glide than it is to single jump. So I mentioned before that when you're in the air on a single jump, it's a 3.3 speed, and when you're walking, it's 3.2 speed. When you are gliding from your double jump, it is also a 3.2 speed. So there are many instances throughout the rest of the game where it is mandatory to double jump, but outside of that, our runners are going to be doing everything they can to only single jump. And so it doesn't lose a lot of time, but throughout the course of another hour or so, or almost an hour in this run, it definitely adds up. The other new mechanic that's added here are these red birds that you can see. They will go and like shoot you high up into the sky. They are bird friends. And you can jump cancel. So since we have our second jump, and the bird friends refresh our second jump, we use that to jump cancel because they tend to shoot us higher in the sky into the air than we need to go. And so by jump canceling, it allows us to transition from heavily vertical movement to horizontal movement, which is the predominant form of movement that we want throughout this game. Even though this section of the game is also heavily vertical. So really nice. Double fast trees is what we call those cycles that you can just barely go through and make your way through both sets of those trees without having to wait. It's super fun, but very scary, especially the first time or three that you go through it. And lots of birds now that we go through. And we're gonna meet the biggest of birds very soon. Also, make sure that as
Scary bird.
Scary bird, for sure. Make sure that chat, as you're watching through this, that you continue to take in just like the beauty of the world of Gris. So the art is done by Conrad Rose, and it is all like hand done watercolor for the entire game, and that is why it's so unique and so beautiful.
So this
yeah.
is one of the examples of why I think what you expelled is things you don't like about yourself. I think this is that first example. I don't know what it folds. I haven't really determined what this represents to me, but that's one of the nice parts about this game is that it can represent different things differently.
Yeah, there's many perceptions and perspectives that you can get just because of your worldview, and when you play this game, you can perceive it, or you can perceive it in a certain way, but not everybody's going to view it as the same way, which is really neat of a concept.
Because this bird screech is, like, I view the screech as something that's holding you back.
Yeah.
It's also, again, and if you look in the backgrounds, you can see the heavy red color palette mixed in with the green of the trees, and we have an angry bird and we have red trees. So this is a period where our bargaining has heavily transitioned back into anger that we're trying to deal with.
See, that's one thing I loved about this concept of the emotions. I want to say stages because it's just when in psychology, but anyways, the emotions and the transitions, because you do go through those interchangeable emotions. You do go through your anger, but then you go back to denial, then you go back to bargaining. So, and it is interchangeable too.
Yeah, I think it much better encapsulates a real world experience of dealing with grief.
So I got this in practice. Let's see if I can get this here.
Yeah, this trick that you're going to see here is called bird blow.
Nope. I'll try it one more time.
So it's tough. It saves 3 seconds.
Nope. Yep.
If you hit it. So there you go. Aggie went and got it. Really nice. And Aggie has taken their first lead, I think, of the race here.
Yeah, I just keep trying. That's fine. We're just gonna do this normal.
Yeah, bird blow is definitely very precise, and it's the most risk reward trick in the run. So what it does is it saves. So you can see on Butter's side that he has to just wait here for that second blow. But if you jump precisely back into the bird, it triggers it to just blow twice, and it'll blow you straight across the middle, and then right away blow again to get you to the right side. So that is bird blow. It's super cool trick. It's definitely a little precise, and because it only saves 3 seconds, not something I recommend doing unless you're already a fairly top runner, since if you fail it, it loses either 7 or 10 seconds.
I probably just lost
each
quite
time.
a bit there.
So that you fail it. So, unfortunately, maybe 20 or 30 seconds for Butters there, but, still doing great for everything else. And it is a very finicky trick. It was a trick that...
So the particular version of the trick I did was found by a blindfolded runner by the name of Sable.
Yeah, and it's very consistent.
That's amazing.
Also, really fast first half of the bird fight for Aggie, with some very, very precise movement to basically get into the triggers and then get out of the triggers from the bird. Super clean there. Nicely job. And once again, more stairs.
Yep.
So Butters not far behind. Chat, did we have any theories on the stairs as metaphors? Because they are everywhere.
Yeah,
Notice we are going back into a hand here, but we can see there is a lot more than just a hand now. I didn't call that out when we were at the end of Anger, but you can see that we have nearly a full statue that is back here, whereas back in Denial, it was just the hand. And my take on this, and I don't think it's super deep of a take, is that, as we're progressing through, we're building back together our feelings and our emotions in regards to our mother. And so that's being represented by the statue. And then when we started, it was just a hand and pieces were everywhere and it was shattered. And as we're going through, it's becoming more and more whole again.
And part of the beginning, when you lose your voice, it's also about losing your sense of agency of who you are.
Yeah. So we didn't even touch on that. So part of the game. So there's no text, there's no voice acting in this game, and it's told purely through visuals and audio. But even through the game, really nice fast glide there from Aggie. It's a blind jump input while you're free falling. It saves 1.5 seconds. So it's really nice. It's not a huge time save, but again, it's one of those things that feels really good. You can easily miss it early or fall into the water late. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny window. But yeah, so we do have a button to sing on our controller or our keyboard. But if you activate it now, basically nothing happens. Gris kind of just makes like a noise, and that's it. That may or may not change as we progress further, as we collect more powers and get more control over our life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! See,
I may know a secret.
When you press the button, you make Gris sad. You don't want to make Gris sad, do you?
Gris is already kind of sad.
Yeah.
Which is why. So we're transitioning back through this. This is the same forest that we were in before, but now there are platforms that were previously invisible in through our tiers, or the sky's representation of our tiers. So we are technically still within the bargaining section because we have not gotten back to the hub. But we can see a lot of the depression influence that is here. And so another movement thing is that right now, traveling through water is incredibly slow. I don't remember exactly what the number values are, but it's like 1.8 or something. It's incredibly slow to move in water right now. So you can see on Aggie's side that they're jumping out of the water as soon as they possibly can. And so when you enter the water, you also want to be holding the jump button. Otherwise, you like plunge deep in like you were doing a cannonball, basically. And then it just takes a really long time to slowly get back up to the surface. So we want to avoid that as much as possible for now. And yeah, Aggie is back at the hub. Butters doing the bird flight right behind.
I was going to say was, I don't know. So I like I see in chat, we're like discussing about different perceptions of this game, and the overall concept behind it. I know that we think that it's like a family, or a lover, or so I was wondering what everyone's thoughts were on this take on that.
About a lover?
A lover, yeah.
In what regard?
Well, no. So in terms of like, how did we know it was the mother? Like exactly.
We don't in this run.
Right.
But if you come back on June 1st for the All Mementos run,
yes,
there is some extra lore where it becomes very evident.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So on June 1st, come back, but not to Legally Cute. It's gonna be.
It'll be on Never Before Seen with Amber Cyprin.
Yes.
So Aggie just did a nice trick there, which is called the heavy dive skip. They broke that heavy barrier, but didn't fall through into the water below. So again, kind of doing the same setup and logic behind an insta-heavy. They did their heavy right on the barrier between solid ground and the breakable ground, and it breaks it without falling down. And it saves 5 seconds. Because again, you go, very far down into the water and have to slowly climb back up. Another note about this section is it is 100% cycle based. It doesn't look like it because there's no cycles that you can see, but we are basically on a giant cycle for this entire 4-ish long minute section. We're gonna come down into an ice cavern, and that ice cavern is where the cycles are going to hit. So everything that we're doing here is going to lead into certain ice cycle down below in the ice cavern that are on 8-second timers. And so the quote unquote normal top runner hit is what we call fast cycle, and it takes pretty precise movement to hit. It does not require heavy dive skips 5 seconds, but it certainly helps. The rest of the leeway is very minimal otherwise. And then before that is kind of just like normal cycle, and then more 8-second blocks of time loss. Before that, there is a fastest cycle, but it is incredibly hard to hit. I believe only myself and Skylar have hit it in runs. Aggie, have you hit fastest cycle?
In runs, no. Nixith has also hit fastest cycle in ILs.
So in ILs, it's easier. So because of like when and how the timing for those ice caverns start, it's actually different from whether you reach it from the hub in a new game or whether you do it from the chapter select, because you actually start in a different place. So you have a couple of extra seconds of leeway in the ILs. So not to disparage the accomplishment, it's still very hard to do, but I think you have about 5 seconds of leeway in the IL, and you have like 2 seconds of leeway for a 4-minute long section in a full game run to be able to hit it. So incredibly difficult. I've only done it once ever in a full game run. Skylar, I think, has done it a handful of times.
Oh, wow. So it's very rare.
It's incredibly hard. You have to effectively have perfect movement for 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then you still have, very limited time to get it. So we're into the ice cavern. There's a left and right side. We can see the cycles here. This left side is very straightforward for Aggie. One note, and this will be used more on the right side, but you can actually still maintain your ice version of yourself, your ice block version, even if you release your heavy before it actually snaps. And again, because as I've mentioned, this game is forgiving, intentionally so by the development team. And so we take advantage of it, and we're going to skip a cycle on this right side. So if you're playing casually and you try to emulate what we're doing here, it's going to just fail. You're going to just miss, not this, but the very next ice cycle on this bottom right block here. You're not going to be able to make it. But Aggie just barely makes it there. Oh no! Please. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you had me super nervous.
I was super nervous too.
Yeah, because that would break on the next cycle. So if Aggie didn't get that heavy down, they would have to go back and redo it again, and it would lose basically 2 full cycles as a result. So thankfully that didn't happen. But yeah, so you can leave those ice cycles a couple of frames early, and that's the difference. That's how close it is, that those extra couple of frames allows you to then make that cycle and save 8 seconds there. So most runners are able to do that. Once you know the trick that, oh hey, I can leave this early, it's not super difficult to do. But just don't leave too early. So now we have our third power up though. We can swim. And all of a sudden, being in water went from the slowest form of travel to the fastest form of travel. So now we've gotten our fins, we've gotten our gills, and we have become one with the fish. We haven't talked about heavy movement in a vertical sense. So you can see Aggie right there goes into a heavy in order to track down that star that's moving. And they went into a heavy as they transitioned into this section. Also, this is the section that you skip in the out of bounds clip, but this section's super fun, so you don't even want to skip it. But so if you're in a heavy and you're moving down, you travel really fast. You travel at 19 speed versus you travel at 5 or something free falling otherwise. I forget the exact numbers, but it's significantly different. However, you have a whole bunch of additional animations that play when you're doing the heavy, and you can't move horizontally. So there are a lot of places where the horizontal benefit of not heavying outweighs the speed that you can free fall when you are heavying. We did a lot of testing with that in the early days, but in places like this where all you're doing is intentionally free falling, it saves a couple of seconds each time you do it to get into that heavy, and you have to heavy instantly as you exit the water, because the game doesn't actually want you to do that. So if you wait more than like a fraction of a second, the game just doesn't let you heavy anymore. It locks you out of that ability. Basically, you're almost still in the water, but not still in the water when you do that heavy, and then it lets you do that. We're gonna do it once more towards the end of this water section. But yeah, so there are specific instances where it's faster to do that heavy if you're free falling for enough time and you're only free falling vertically. Also, there are some places where if you're just normally jumping and falling, Gris doesn't obviously take any damage or anything, but she does have an animation to basically like, oh hey, I am I'm okay, I'm free falling. Oh, Aggie is doing the fancy tower climb right there. Really well done. That is not the casual way that you climb that tower, but you do want to grab that star at the end for sure. Nicely done with the tower climb. Can you get the turtle skip?
Well,
No, not the first time. Second try? Oh, no. So there's so many little techs and tricks throughout this. I can't even explain them all. So going into the turtle there, you basically have to go into the middle of the turtle, and then you trigger the turtle cutscene. But you're stuck here where Agu is right there. You're stuck until the turtle moves down into it, and the turtle doesn't start moving down into it until there's a point where you have traveled down enough is when the turtle starts. So if you can get down faster, you'll get the turtle to start moving faster, and it saves 3 seconds. So you have to get into the turtle, trigger its stuff, and then leave the turtle and go down, and then it'll freeze you in a southern position from the turtle. And so it's a little bit of a precise trick. It's all timing based, and it's another cool one to get, but it also does lose you time if you go too early and don't actually trigger it, which is what happened for Aggie. But Aggie is now back into the hand. You can see the statue is pretty much fully back together, and they're coming up on our second boss fight of the game. Keyboard or joystick is clear winner in this game. Well, the world record holder plays with keyboard, but pretty much every other runner uses a controller. So take that how it were. Butter's also not able to get the turtle cutscene skip.
So one thing is to note in this section with the turtle, if you follow into this dark part, eventually you turn around. It won't let you go any further.
Yep. That's why we try to do that cutscene skip, because it starts the turtle.
There's another representation of something that I view the turtle as not only a friend, but like a light in the dark. Because without him, we wouldn't be able to get to this point.
Yeah. And so you can see Butters wasn't able to get the heavy there into that cutscene. So it is a pretty tiny window to be able to trigger that heavy, but it saves that spot particularly actually saves like 3 or 4 seconds because of how long you're free falling. So Aggie starting the mostly scripted boss fight on their side with Eel Friend.
Yeah, Eel Friend just wants a hug.
That eel
That's
friend
fun.
is no. That eel friend scares me. I disagree. I get
So-
scared every time.
I don't think I can do the thing, Aggie, because I can't hear your audio. Just for the record.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Just fair warning.
You'll have to do the thing when Butters gets to it.
No, I can't hear either of you through
Oh, really?
because there's no
Oh.
audio from Discord.
Oh, oh, interesting. I hear audio? Question marks. So, anywho, yeah. So, what is it that
either
you were
way.
describing about, though? What is
Oh.
it that you would normally do?
Oh, there's just a thing that I do in the community. It's a fun thing, but it doesn't impact the run at all.
Aw, I want to hear the fun thing. I want to hear it. I want to hear
I
it.
can't. I need audio to be able to do
Oh,
it, and so
got
I
it,
can't
okay.
hear and I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Is it at the end of this section?
It's in the middle of it.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
so we're through the boss fight maybe on Aggie's side, and we're traveling through a very dark tunnel, slowly finding light through the tunnel though, and you can see that light is yellow, again leading towards that we're progressing to our final area of the game, blending of colors.
So there's a couple things with this eel. I view it as like your creeping dread because it's facing you down.
So. But oh no, yeah, it's not actually back. We're not defeated the eel yet, but maybe we'll be able to get away. I don't know. I mean, it might spell despair. Tune in next week. Same cute time, same cute channel.
cute. Same cute place. Same cute chat as well. With all the cute writers and all the cute commentators and all the cute producers. Oh, I'm saying producer.
And there we go. Turtle friend saving the day.
Yay. This part, I don't know why, but I always get scared. I don't know why either. It's not that scary.
Because of the darkness or because of the jump scare?
The jump scare. the intentional jump scare.
Oh, we have the most metal turtle.
Yes.
Yeah.
This turtle's awesome.
Turtle kicks butt. For whatever reason, we never actually named the turtle, so they're just turtle.
Can I name the turtle now? Can I name
Yes.
the turtle my old turtle, which is Speedy? That was my first turtle. I like the name Speedy.
Speedy.
Edie.
Speedy.
It comes in right on time to save
Yeah.
to save the day.
Exactly.
Just explodes the heck out of the eel.
Yes.
So thank you, turtle. You are the hero that we needed.
Yes.
But once again, we will never see you again.
Yeah.
It would be nice if there was like a reuniting at the end where
I know.
Oh, with
our,
all the
our,
animals.
our tree friend and our water friend came back together. So this is now we're in our backtrack. We're in our backtrack. Aggie having a little bit of difficulty, but figuring it out. Up to our hub for not quite the final time. We're about to see another explosion happening on Butter's side. Oh no, we're about to get eaten. Ah! Nope, we're good.
Boom.
Saved
Oh,
once
so good.
again.
Yep. Saved. That turtle saved us.
So, and Aggie's coming up on YOLO jump.
Wait, is it really YOLO jump?
Didn't get it though, but also didn't fall in the water. So good. Yeah. So YOLO jump. I found it by accident. I was just going through that little tunnel of water there and went and dashed my way out, and I dashed too far to the left and missed the platform, but was able to glide over to the left side and make it, and terrified myself, nearly gave myself a heart attack in the process, but discovered YOLO jump, which it saves roughly 1 second, but loses 15 if you don't get it.
Oh, that's pretty punishing.
Yeah, that's why it's the YOLO jump.
You either go all in and YOLO or, yep.
Yep. To save 1 second. Nice jump out of the water there, Aggie. So again, since we do need to go in that direction that Aggie jumped in, and water is the fastest way to move, we try to go and jump out of that water into the cutscene. If you go a little bit too late, you wind up just getting stuck at the top of the water, and then you can kind of dash out afterwards. But you want to do what Aggie did, and we're finally gonna get to see Team Yellow right here. We're gonna get to see the pot break right there. Wah wah. Would have been so much cooler if it had been done in green.
Yellow? YOLO? No, I'm just kidding.
Butters is coming up onto the YOLO jump as well.
Oh, that is not an answer that I need.
I don't know if Butters has ever tried the YOLO jump before.
I have.
YOLO? YOLO?
Oh! Look
Wait.
at that. Well done, Butters.
Nicely done.
First time I've gotten that.
That was a good time.
Let's
for
go.
It. So yeah, and I didn't mention it before, but where Butters is, you get well, I guess Butters didn't do it. I was gonna say you get a free heavy right there.
Yeah.
Basically, all you have to do is hold heavy while you're on that slide down there. Just hold your heavy button, and as soon as you get off, you instantly heavy and break through. And so, as long as you remember that that's the part where you're at, since everything is
all these things in practice
in the dark, it winds up being pretty nice level design, placing it right below you. Numata with the good guy level design. So.
And if you're not careful with it, like that, you have problems finding where it's at because of the light.
Yes, for sure. It is very dark otherwise. So being able to just hold that heavy helps to mitigate that. So Aggie traversing their way up into the hub of Yellow. So Yellow is a little bit different for Acceptance. It's the only area of the game that you immediately do the same area both before and after you get your power up. Nice tree movement there. You again, so kind of like going down a slide, going out of water, you can also preserve your momentum there. So you can traverse from one water square to another. And if you then like jump out at a nice angle and then do your double jump, you at the right time before you lose your momentum, you'll preserve that momentum and be able to just carry straight over and across to the other side and not have to touch ground. But yeah, we go through. There's a left and right side to the acceptance area, and our runners are going to go to both the left and the right side before and after getting that final power up.
Yeah, I remember when I was learning this run, I was getting left and right so confused.
So I always have to remind myself when I do that section that when you go to the right the first time, as soon as you go upside down, you go left.
Yeah.
And if you go left, you go right.
So,
and then later it changes.
Yep. So basically, there's a lot of upside down movement in this final section of the game. It's not particularly difficult movement, but it certainly can be a little disorienting the first or couple times you go through it. But yeah, when you go upside down the first time through, you go in the opposite direction from the direction that you went from the hub, and after you get your power up, you go the same direction. So, and that's why at that point you diverge and you're not literally doing the entire thing the same before and after. But you are covering similar ground in slightly different ways by having that power up or not. But that's the handy way to remember is whatever direction you go, when you hit upside down, you go the opposite. And so you could see that that Aggie went and did that. Aggie, I think, is going to do a little swag strat right here. Woo! There you go, swag strat. Yep. Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to just keep alternating right side up and upside down and back and forth, but you don't actually need to do that. And another little strat that you're going to see Aggie do right here as well to save having to go right side up. Yep. Oh, just barely getting it. A little bit awkward of movement there, but no harm, no foul. Basically, if you use the birds to propel you out, immediately after getting out of the water, they don't propel you far enough to cross over back to right side up, but they do propel you far enough to trigger the light source, which is the only thing that you actually need. So it saves having the time that it takes to go right side up and back side upside down again. And then again, as I've noted and will continue to note, that being in water is fast. So there's these little pools of water to the left and right side, and you can see Aggie dolphining here to continue to refresh their dash. But yeah, so as we traverse from left to right and right to left, we'll keep jumping into these little pools of water and then dashing out of them because it's just a little bit faster. And everything we can do to save the frame. So we went right, so we're gonna go left right here as Aggie does. And Aggie is on, this is my favorite section of the entire game right here. So I hope you watch and enjoy. When you're able to pull this entire section off, it is incredibly satisfying. It's really quick movement. It's lots of back and forth upside downs. It's lots of birds and coming in and out of water and heavying. It's super precise and fun movement, and nailing it feels so good towards the end of a run. There you go, that hardest thing right at the end from Aggie, but super clean there. Nice job. So it looks like, Butters is coming right up it, but Butters has not done the left side yet. So, and if you're wondering about that, Butters does still need to do the whole left side, but we'll see how clean his movement is here in the super fun time section. And Aggie has gotten their last power up, the ability to sing. Aggie has gotten their voice back, and Gris has an amazing singing voice. So much so that just plants open up, flowers bloom, birds come to life.
I kind of want to sing it so badly.
Yeah, like a Disney character.
Yeah, it's like. It's beautiful.
Sounds about right. It's actually almost spot on.
Yep. And so Aggie's gonna get a free insta heavy right here. So there's some little movement where you can basically hit into that flower cutscene right there. Immediately on the edge. Again, the game is forgiving. It doesn't want you to fall off that edge into the cutscene, so it just stops you there, even if you otherwise should go further. And then coming out of it, if you just hold left and your heavy button, you get a free insta heavy there. Gris is a Disney princess. Potentially, just need a movie, right? Mm-hmm. And a strong merchandising line.
Yeah. And animals. I mean, there's animals. We have animals.
We do have animals. Turtles.
Macaroni.
Yep. Macaroni counts as an animal.
Yes.
I'm giving it there. And birds. Lots of birds.
Yes, and birds. All types of birds too, actually.
Yeah. So Aggie is coming up on what we call the flower room. So there's at the end of each side here, there's a big room, and there's also a major, or not a major, but a large skip. And so flower skip right there, boom, easy. Incredibly simple trick to save having to trigger any of the upside down flowers. It actually saves like 15 or 20 seconds. All you have to do is mash. You go into those, you get the first flower open, go into the bottom birds and hit them and just mash. And 98% of the time you'll hit that trick. The only times I've ever failed it is I've mashed too well and I've not gotten enough height to land on it. I have never once crossed over above. So really easy trick, as opposed to the final room on the other side, which is the hardest trick in the game by a very long shot. You got it, Butters.
Yeah, I hit him at the wrong angle. We're just gonna go down.
Yeah. Sometimes doing it a little casual, make sure you get past. It's not a bad thing. So, yep. And yeah, so Butter's just about to get his power up, his sing here, as Aggie has traversed back and reached the hub and just has to do the right side now. After popping the water.
I'm starting with the right side.
Yeah, I'm a right side first as well. Aggie's in Australia, so they do everything kind of backwards. That's at least my interpretation. Aggie, is that the reason? See? And so we have a spider friend also. I completely forgot about spider friend. You notice Aggie opened a couple flowers there. We found out from testing that it loses you about 1 second now to open them, but we're actually going to use those flowers again later on to get to kind of the final area-ish that we're going. It's effectively its own hub here in yellow. And so because we're going to use it again later, and we only have to now open it once, it winds up saving like close to 1 second to do that route and go up and over overall. So really minor time save, but every time save is important. So Aggie both our runners are actually coming up on the bug room. And so the bug room has 2 skips to them. It has 1 cycle, which will be right at the beginning of the trick and is not particularly difficult. It uses the same tech as in the ice cavern, where you kind of leave your sing early and it'll still trigger. And so Aggie's going to do that right now, and we're going to see it, and it's going to be awesome. And boom, that's 1 cycle. If you do it casually, you're probably going to have to wait for the bug to come back. Okay, so that's if you're gonna, and so Aggie tried to do no cycle, and if you're gonna fail no cycle, that's the way to do it. That's the faster way to fail it. Get to try again. Maybe. Oh, it was so close.
That was so close.
So no cycle is ridiculously hard. It requires a coyote jump, and you only have 1 frame of coyote time before your jump input can't be done anymore.
Yep.
So you have a one frame, 1 pixel window of a coyote jump to get that first jump off, and then you have about I want to say, I think it's about a 3 frame window after you cross over to do your second jump. In which case you will just barely make it onto that platform without having to trigger the upper bug at all. And it collectively saves like 23 seconds or 24 seconds, something insane like that. But it is so ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I'm the most consistent person at no cycle in the community, and I've probably spent like 10 hours just doing no cycle, and I still hit it like 30% of the time. Chat wants to know, what is a coyote jump? So a coyote jump is named after Wile E. Coyote from cartoon fame of days of yore, where Wile E. Coyote would take a step off of a ledge and then would be able to jump or fall and still kind of move in a very cartoonish fashion. So most platformers have built-in kind of tech that makes it forgiving for players, so that even if they step a frame or a pixel or two off the edge of a ledge, they can still get their jump done. And it makes it feel better actually when you play a game. So a lot of platformers will have that, and any ability to jump when you're actually off the edge of a ledge is referred to as a coyote jump. And so Aggie, there you go, has gotten all of the stars in the game, has triggered and sung to make this wonderful, beautiful tree. Butters just has the left side still to do, not very far behind. But the game is not over quite yet. We do still have some final stuff to do. About another 8 minutes, I believe, 7.5 to 8 minutes. 7 minutes, something like that. I get confused with the mementos at this point. So I think it's about 7 minutes. It is mostly cutscenes, so enjoy. But we do have 2 final areas. They are referred to as purple and black. But there is mostly lore and relatively straightforward platforming. So I'm not going to talk quite as much, because this is definitely a really powerful part of the game that we're now getting into. It's the culmination of our entire emotional journey.
Okay, that would happen.
And chat doesn't need my voice commentating over it. It is something that everyone can really just enjoy and be able to experience for themselves. So there's going to be 2 separate cutscenes, and Aggie is just about to trigger the first one here.
I'm gonna be quiet too because I love the music. But while we're watching this chat, I would like to see everybody tell me their perceptions and thoughts of the game, especially when we're getting towards the end here.
So I will leave the interpretation up to everyone in terms of what goes on here at the end. I've seen these cutscenes 100 times now myself, and so I have varied opinions about what they mean or may not mean. But obviously we're now in a very dark place. And we are trying to come up to the surface of this water goop that it may be. And I think the real question is, Aggie, how are you going to say goodbye? There we go. Worth losing the frames. To say goodbye to mom properly there, and grow those flowers. And chat, if you haven't seen the upcoming cutscene that's going to start in about 30 seconds, I highly recommend getting a tissue, perhaps. It is emotional.
Definitely be ready for this.
So Aggie is just about to finish. It's about 1 minute to do this final climb. And for timing, for whoever is on the timer, the timing ends when the game fades to black. It will go full white, and then it will instantly transition from a full white to a full black, and that is the moment the timing will end.
Thanks, Frozen. So,
Hi, Court.
a couple things towards the end here. When you first thing to get back to this hub, just before the eel comes back, after you get your voice back, like your world was upside down, and you turn it right side up. One thing I do notice about that part, but I think this end part is like in the end you can be your own worst enemy.
Okay, 127.17 for Aggie.
GG.
GG's. That was an awesome. Thank you for the raise on both of you, Aggie and It's Butters. I don't know, this game just such a beautiful game, and always is such a delight to have it on.
I'm just happy I'm not too far.
I love the game so much.
Just happy I'm not overly far behind Aggie.
Oh yeah, no, you're doing very well.
Still a chance for PB?
I think so, yeah.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
So Butters PB is a 1:31:44, which was actually done earlier today.
Just before this.
So I think you're gonna be very close to that.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close. I actually am excited to see. We'll see soon. So while was there anything you would like to say, Aggie? Just to kind of like, if anybody was interested in speedrunning or where to find you, what's the best way to find you, Aggie?
Best way to find me is on Twitch through Aggie the Aaron. If anyone is wanting to learn the game, we have a very welcoming Discord community. You can find that on the speedrun.com page for this game. So it's speedrun.com/Gris. Gris. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. This was an incredible opportunity.
I'm watching the moment that we're putting ourselves back together. I just love this moment. I can't get over it.
Yes, thank you, Rue, for having me for comms and for showing off this beautiful, wonderful game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, the commentary was like, honestly, I'm just so impressed by the commentary. The game inside, the game inside and out, and honestly, it was just fun to even hear about, the newest speedrunning tech that has been found in the community, and and everything like that. If anyone wanted to come and find you, Tass, I'm going to say Tass, where would be good? Where would they go and come to find you just to watch you stream or your speedrunning or have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think you posted it in the chat, so twitch.tv/Tasselfoot. The Discord is linked from the speedrun.com page. Myself, Aggie, Butters, many others are all active there and happy to help. I have some guides on the speedrun.com page of some of the harder tricks and some advice on how to do those and whatnot to help new runners to learn those. So we try to make it a little bit easier to get into this game, but it's a super fun game, and it's hopefully a relatively easy speed game to get into.
Yes, I honestly would recommend the speed game, especially just if anyone's a newer speedrunner. This is definitely a speed run to just even like get familiar into speedrunning with. And time's gonna come up here pretty soon for its Butters.
Yeah, in about a minute. So doesn't look like it's gonna be a second PB today, but very close still.
Yes, honestly, it was really like even just getting the PB today is like big congrats on that.
Yeah,
that's a big
absolutely.
GG.
Yeah.
If this run was
Getting incredibly close to it.
if this run was 4 hours earlier, this would be a PB.
Yep. Yeah, I went from 133.03 to 131 in practice.
So
Yeah, it's like almost a 2 minutes time save.
It's I know where it was, but you know, it is.
sub
Yeah.
130 soon.
I did get the YOLO jump though.
Yes, I did. I made sure to highlight that.
The most important 1 second that you could save. GG.
Big GGs. Oh, it is a 2 minute time save. I can math. Oh, I love that
Almost
background,
time.
by the way. Time. Well, it's Butters. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being on the show. It's Butters. Where would everybody want to see you speedrun? And if they have any questions in regards to speedrunning, I know the community is very welcoming. I'm in there, so I might lurk a lot, but I'm in there. So if anyone wants to find you, where to find you?
Twitch.tv, it's_Butters, the Gris Discord. I'm all around. You can come and ask me any questions. We're all really welcoming. I've helped, I know, a few people. I know Champagne Rampage is in chat. I know I've helped her before with this game, so.
Well, I wanted to say thank you, everybody. I hoped everybody... that was such a good, chill, cozy speedrun. Beautiful game. I am definitely thankful for the race. GG's, Aggie for winning. But you did a great job, it's Butter still, but for you still got a GG on your PB. So hey, I say everybody won one today. And Tass, thank you so much for your commentary. Beautiful. I wanted to say thank you everyone for being on the show. So just a few little things before we get going. I just want to remind everybody about everything that's going to be coming up in the future. We do have a lot of events going on. But the one thing I wanted to mention in the fact is if you missed the PAX East, if you weren't there or anything like that, this weekend starting at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday and Sunday, we will be broadcasting some footage of the speedruns we hosted at the speedrunning stage. So if anyone's interested, stay tuned for that. You can watch it tomorrow. And we are going to be going on a break. Let's get the water. Let's do some stretches. I just stretched right now, actually. And then, take care of your health and and be taking care of yourself. I hope everyone had fun and enjoyed this, but we will be back with some more with Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Rue, Kitty Rue SR, bringing you more Legally Cute. Now we're going to have a game that is definitely legally cute. I do really like this game. I loved it casually. I got all the gems. Yeah, it was just a ton of fun when I played it. So I'm excited to showcase this one. I'm always excited though, so I'm always happy. So anywho, we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and this is going to be with Eric J _ Math as a runner, and the commentator is Happy Bear. Do you all want to say hi?
Hi, hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Happy Bear. I'm super excited to be doing commentary for Eric tonight, and yeah, we've definitely got a super cute run for you.
Yeah, we'll keep it nice and cute and cozy and happy.
I love that. Alrighty, so we are doing the any % switch solo category, and whenever you are ready, Eric J, just let me know.
Okay, yeah, I should do a countdown or something?
Let's do a countdown.
Okay, perfect. So, as you can see, Toad is very sleepy at the moment. He has to take a little bit of a nap before we get started, but I think we'll be ready to start in, let's say, 3, 2, 1, and go.
I love the hat, by the way. I just have to, I had to
Thanks.
tell him.
Yeah, I got it. Gotta wear the costume.
Oh, the costume. Sorry, not just the hat. Sorry, I said hat. Well, okay, the thing that stand out to me was the hat because, you know, Captain Toad and the hat. And then I remember the introduction to Captain Toad in Mario Galaxy. And I was just like, I loved that. I can't do it, but oh, I love it. And, yes.
I'll do it a lot.
Yes. And yes, I do love the cosplay. So I'm just sorry. The hat was just the thing that I saw. So yeah, tell me a little bit about what's going on in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the speedrun.
Right, so we were just trying to get the star. Unfortunately, an evil bird named Wingo stole it and also stole Toadette at the same time. So I guess probably we want the star back. Toad is not so sure if he actually wants to rescue Toadette, but he definitely wants the star. So it's going to be our job to go get that. Along the way, we have to collect some gems that are like progress collectibles along the way. Basically, our job is to get 155 gems by the end of the run. So we'll be getting the 155 fastest gems. You can skip levels and that sort of thing. I'm going to start the first level here. And right away, I want to point out I'm controlling 3 different things at once. So I'm controlling Toad, the camera, and this little blue dot thing you can see on the screen, all at the same time. So this game definitely takes a little bit of mental kind of multitasking, so to speak. So
Yeah,
that's
honestly,
definitely something.
That's probably the most challenging part of Captain Toad. Is just like balancing all these things that you have to do, like remembering which level to go to next, and the blue dot, and all the strats that you have to do. There's definitely, it's not for the faint of heart if you just want one thing to do. So you're gonna see a lot of multitasking tonight from Eric.
Right. One thing about Toad is that Toad has a very large landing area, or hitbox, or butt, if you want to say
Or
that.
bum. We can say bum.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. We can say bum. So you might have noticed I just kind of fell off a platform and landed on a gap, or like landed across a little gap. That's just because Toad's hitbox is so large that I can cross that gap. I also just, you know, each runner has their own habits of how they want to do the camera throughout the run. So I prefer to play that level without kind of looking to see where I'm going. Ended up getting all 3 gems there. So there'll be more examples of Toad's large hitbox, we'll say, along the way.
So when we're saying hitbox, we're saying bum, right? I just had to do that. So I didn't realize how big the hitbox was, though. it's
Oh, yeah.
kind of interesting to find out that because, just understanding hitboxes in general with game development, it's actually really fun to learn because, it's just it's literally blocks, But it's interesting that Toads is that big.
Well, it's even a little bit more than that because the collision box with terrain is very large, but his collision box with enemies is very small. So I'll be sneaking past enemies when it looks like I shouldn't do that, and I'll be walking across gaps that also look like I shouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, that's super interesting. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually, I mean, I am probably biased, but there's quite a bit of depth to this game that might not be immediately clear.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Happy.
Who's on first? One of the things that we do in this game is I like to call it the reset exploit. So instead of having to run all the way back to the beginning of a level in order to get to your next objective, then you can just reset the level, and that will send you right back to the beginning, and it saves a lot of time. And it's one of the big speedrunning stats that we like to use in this game. So you saw Eric doing that, and now he's. I think we just finished this level, and we're on the touchstones. We've seen that in the past couple levels where Eric has been using the blue dot to interact with those and to manipulate them to go super fast.
Yeah. Now, because this game was based on Super Mario 3D Worlds, or one of those games, there are power-ups that exist, and Double Cherry is one of those power-ups. So now I am controlling two Toads to navigate through this level as fast as I can. Lots of back and forth in this portion. But there's a little bit of routing that comes in this game. In case you haven't noticed, Toad can't jump because his backpack is too heavy with all the coins and whatever he's been collecting. So we only have run, and we can pluck turnips out of the ground, we can climb ladders, but a side effect of the kind of lack of different movement options is that the game is very movement dependent. So if you make a small mistake rounding a corner, it can cost a couple seconds. So you have to be a little careful with that because it's really easy to lose time, invisible time loss or time gain, I guess, if you're doing it well.
Interesting. So playing the game casually, I knew you didn't jump, but as a speedrun, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be super frustrating when literally on some levels you see the star and the gems that you need right there, but you can't jump to them. You have to run through all these obstacles. Definitely one of the worst parts of being a Captain Toad speedrunner.
That's interesting.
Or one of the most rewarding parts.
I like your attitude, Eric. I like your attitude.
I do too.
So this is one of the more fun levels in the game, just really chill music, and it introduces the spin wheel mechanic. So a big part of this game is spinning the wheel as fast as you can so that you can get to where you need to go. And we actually have started now to skip levels. So you'll notice that we skipped level 6. And we don't have to get all the gems in the any percent run.
Right. Yeah, so you can skip entire levels, like I said, to get the fastest 155 gems. This is our first minecart level, so in case you didn't know, Captain Toad is actually a rail shooter game.
This game has everything.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet is each level has a bonus objective that you would be doing if you were trying to, 100% this game, which I'll talk a little bit more about the 100% later. For the most part, we actually want to avoid doing the bonus objectives because it plays a little animation when you complete the bonus objective. So it plays like a check mark, it takes some time. So I left one of those bitty buds alive, and the bonus objective for this level is to defeat all of the bitty buds. So the way I normally present it is I'm leaving that one alive to send a message. Maybe that's a little dark for legally cute, but
Yep.
it's for
Hey,
time
this is
save.
a legally cute hour. Don't worry. It's getting to that point. We could have dark hour with, what is it? After dark with illegally cute.
You know, if you want to get into some of the dark lore behind this game, watch very carefully some of the things that Toad does during this run, and ask yourself, is Toad the hero, or is Toad the villain? And I think by the end of the run, you might be having a crisis of faith as far as whether Toad is really the squeaky clean, cute little guy that he appears to be.
Yes. Network. I didn't quite hear you. Okay.
All right, so here we've got probably the scariest boss in the entire universe. Definitely scarier than any xenomorph or that lady from Resident Evil Village, or who are some other scary bosses, Eric, that I can think of? Ganondorf.
This one.
Yeah, I mean, he's self-referential. He's so scary. So, what Eric did there was he just grabbed onto the ladder to keep it from moving too far, and that way you gain a couple cycles on this level. So that's something to do to go real fast. And you're just trying to outrun this fierce dragon the entire time.
Small mistake. It's okay. We can pretend it was intentional.
Every mistake in this game is always a little bit of a death there, but that's all right. You know, if Eric were too perfect, then he would just intimidate everyone. So he just wants to seem like relatable, you know, just like a hero of the common human.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, maybe we're not a villain anymore. We're just...
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
that was kind of like making up for all the bad things that Toad is going to do.
Yeah,
over the course of
exactly.
the run.
What I was trying to do is I was trying to cut a corner a little too close because I was trying to not get hit by that fireball that I just got hit by. So if I had cut the corner successfully earlier, hopefully would have been faster than the fireball. I took it a little slower this time, so I got hit by the fireball.
Sometimes we get very overconfident in Toad's gigantic hitbox, and it lets us down, and we fall into lava. So just remember, everyone who's watching this, don't get overconfident in your hitbox, because you might fall into lava.
That's...
It's
Yep.
good. It's good moral.
Yep. Agreed.
You just think about what old Happy Bear's telling you.
Yes. I'm learning so much right now. I'm learning moral life-changing lifestyles. I think I need to change my life now.
Yeah, so one thing that makes this game so cozy is we have these cute little cutscenes where Toad takes a little bit of a stretch before remembering that, oh wait, we were actually trying to save the star. I mean Toadette. So maybe we should get back to adventuring.
Yeah, this is a great place for chat to take a stretch break, hydrate, do whatever self-care thing that you do. Be like Toad. He does self-care. He just did a stretch break.
I did a stretch.
We'll be having a couple more of those throughout the run.
Stretch break is good for you, especially the legs when you're sitting on in a chair all day, or your hands when you're playing video games.
Definitely. Yeah, I like this run a lot because of all the handbrakes.
That's actually really nice because I know some speedruns like I do love this game, Unpacking. I do love it. The speedrun though, yeah, it's hand training for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I do this the best way, I will say, but the way I control the camera and the sprint button and everything, I have my hand in a really weird position. So definitely is nice to stretch out the hand often.
Yeah, Rue, I sympathize with you for sure. I did a few unpacking individual levels, and it kind of wrecked me for a few hours. So I admire anyone who speedruns that game.
Because to give some context for Frame Fatales, we had a game of the month selection that was unpacking, and in unpacking, there was a lot of information for Darkstar, but there's not. So on the individual levels, Happy Bear was doing the individual levels for the Darkstar and got first place. And yeah, it's how do I put it? As much as I love the game and it's very chill, your hands do need conditioning for sure.
Yeah, gotta do those hand weight lifts with the 30-pound weights, right? By the way, Eric, we've definitely got some support for Eric J. Math. We've got some math friends. I'm seeing the legendary Chai Kitty and Frozen Flygon. We will be demonstrating the Chai Kitty skip at some point in this run, and that will come in about 45 minutes or so.
Yes. Yeah, lots of friends. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone who's watching very, very much.
Oh, that melts my heart. Everybody coming in support and saying hi. That's really cool. When the Chai Kitty, I'm curious about Chai Kitty's skip now.
Chai Kitty
There's
skip.
actually a kind of funny story.
I want to hear the story.
So, Chai Kitty is normally a Celeste speedrunner, but I've been friends with Chai for a couple years now. So, we convinced me and another Toad runner, Shredberg, convinced Chai to do a blind Toad race against another friend of ours, where I was coaching Chai Kitty and Shredberg was coaching this other friend, Fel. Without them ever having played the game before, pretty much. And it was a very big event. We made it very fun. Anyways, so Chai Kitty actually started playing the game a couple more times and discovered a skip that I had not even done before in my own runs. And so I then told Happy Bear about the skip, and Happy Bear named it Chai Kitty Skip in honor of Chai Kitty.
I love that. I love that story.
You know, Eric, this is pretty funny. I didn't realize that I named it Chai Kitty Skip. I thought that was just a name that had been handed down. So, wow, I'm really influential in naming things apparently. So,
yes,
we like to see it.
All right. So yeah, we've just been kind of cruising. I haven't even realized. I can talk a little bit about this level. The bonus objective for this level is I need to defeat one enemy at least, or to avoid the bonus objective. So we have this little trick here where I hold that guy in place and step on him. So now I can keep going. You'll see some hitbox stuff going on here. Not with Toad actually, but with the turnips. I'm gonna throw a turnip at a gem and it's gonna miss, except it's not gonna miss. It's actually gonna hit the gem, even though it looks like it's not even close. So you'll see that here. I know, sometimes I throw it and it looks like it's not even close. That one it looked pretty close. We'll count it.
This is a world of gigantic hitboxes, for sure.
Yes.
So, but yeah, you're gonna see Eric do a turnip throw on the run, a stunning feat of athleticism, really. And you're right, it completely missed the diamond, but yet it still hit. It's magic. We don't know how it works, but we know that it does work.
Turnips.
Turnips have power.
Oh, yes, they do. I remember turnips from Mario 2 and just one-shotting enemies. I'm like, okay. Yep, turnips are a thing.
All right, I'm gonna try and do something here. I think it's not gonna work exactly. Not quite. There's a way you can collect the gem on top of that Goomba tower without actually hitting every Goomba on the way down, but it's kind of not really fully in my control.
Oh, almost. We almost got the skip.
And now we have a train level. Oh my gosh, I love trains.
I like trains.
Well, I like this train. There's another train later on that I don't like so much. But it's kind of a tradition that I've done in some marathon runs in the past that we're on a train. We're going to go in the I don't even know what you call it, wherever the driver is. And we're going to choo-choo the train because I think it's necessary.
Eric,
it doesn't save time. It definitely loses time.
It is 100% necessary to choo-choo the train.
Yeah, I think we need to choo-choo the train.
Choo-choo the train. Oh, choo-choo the train. I love this.
So we'll visit our friend Blue Toad here. And choo-choo the train for sure.
You know, this is one of the
extra.
Sorry to cut you off, Eric.
Go ahead.
This is one of the sneaky, more maybe not challenging but busy levels in the game. There's just so many little strats that we're doing. So you noticed Eric's little, and here's the choo-choo. Eric's little turnip throw at the beginning. Now he's gonna freeze the Shy Guy, or rather go random in this case to just to avoid him and gain a cycle. And now we're going to try to do the same thing. Almost, yeah, he just squeezes past him. And then this is one of the more challenging rooms in the level because you got to break all these blocks to grab the gem. And then we're finally going to do a little damage boost, and that's going to power us to the end of the level. So there's like 5 or 6 little strats that we're doing to complete it and make sure that it's good. And then we go into an even more complicated level.
Right. I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'll let Happy Bear do most of the talking. Basically, so we're at the end of episode 1. I mean, the only episode. What do you mean there's not 3 episodes? What? And now it's finally time to confront Wingo and get our star back. I mean, Toadette. So there is a trigger that I'm trying to avoid, and I'm going to be very kind of closely not going very far forward here and kind of walking on the edge because I need to throw a turnip at Wingo before he starts blowing wind, and that skips a lot. And now I will let Happy Bear take over.
All right,
I just hit Wingo with the turnip.
So you got to hit a specific point on the edge here, and looks like Eric got it first try, so that's awesome. That's a really difficult skip to hit sometimes. He throws the turnip. And so now to get the next part of the multiple Wingo skips, then we're going to let the wind blow us onto this part of the tower. And you let the wind do the work for you. We do that several times over the course of the run, actually. And then once again, we use Toad's gigantic hitbox to just kind of glom onto this ladder. And now we're on to the second part of the fight. So that was a perfectly executed Wingo skip by Eric. Now here we go to the second part of the level, which is the actual boss fight, and Eric is gonna.
That was the best Wingo fight I've ever done. I'm gonna be honest. You'll see. So I'll explain a little bit. Normally in this fight, you hit Wingo with 2 turnips, and then a little bit of a cutscene plays, and Toadette like throws you a mushroom as like, oh, just in case you need this. But if you're fast enough, you can get all 3 turnips before that cutscene plays, and it actually ends the fight early and saves about, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe 20 to 30 seconds. The way I lined up those turnips, that was very good. I was not expecting to get it so nice.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a gold split for me for sure.
Gold. Okay, I had to do that. Yeah, that's.
And now we have the credits because the game is totally over and there's not more games to play, right?
Nothing else to play.
definitely not more gameplay because we're watching credits right now. So that's all
Yep.
there is, right?
Nothing else.
Yeah. Definitely don't need to be stretching my hands or, taking a sip of water for
Yeah.
another hour of gameplay or anything like
GG.
that.
He beat the estimate by
Yeah.
an hour. Like, we're incredible.
World
we're gaming. World record by an hour.
Yeah.
Pause jump.
It's so interesting how we get to see the credits so fast. I forgot about that, to be honest with you. It's been a while since I played this game, but when I did play it, I loved it. So much so that I had to be completing all of it. But yeah, I forgot that the credits were this early.
Yeah. I don't really know if they were trying to do like some sort of twist where they didn't tell you the game was actually 3 episodes, because it is 3 episodes. Spoiler alert. That was episode
Gasp.
1. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do, but they fooled us all.
Hey, at least we get a fireworks show. I will say, I will always enjoy a fireworks show. They're so pretty, especially with the stars. Oh, they're so pretty. And look at Toadette having so much fun in the back.
Definitely. Oh, but now it's not really the end because the end tilted down a little bit. So
Surprise!
Guys, we're getting a sequel.
Yay!
Yay.
episode 2, let's go.
Let's score.
So,
All right, let's go episode 2. Surely nothing will be different. It'll be, look, we're in the exact same cutscene as where we started the game, right? Nothing will be different this time.
exactly. Totally normal.
Look, we got the star. Maybe episode 2 was a joke. It's actually over now.
Just little post-game content as a treat.
I'm trying to think of a...
Oh no, Wingo is back.
Oh.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was trying to think of a way to be like, is this the revenge of Wingo? Episode 2?
Possibly.
The Wingo strikes back.
There it is. Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
But you'll notice something has changed. Toad was the one that was taken away. And now we must play as Toadette for episode 2.
Yay!
Which is very awesome.
A little girl power for all the feminists in chat. Toadette is taking matters into her own hands. She's just not going to sit around,
Now, Toad was definitely only going for the star. He didn't really care about Toadette so much. But Toadette, I think, is actually trying to rescue Captain Toad. If I had to guess.
Wait. Wait. Who's the villain now? Wait. Is there a villain? Is the hero versus villain? I'm trying to decipher who's the villain now.
And unfortunately for all of you hero enjoyers in chat, I think it's going to be seen that Toadette is just as bad as
Oh, no.
Wait, what?
Toad. Look, she just knocked an entire charge and chuck off the edge and let him plummet to his doom. Like, how crazy is that?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Just think
it
about
was the blue dot. I don't know. I don't think Toadette had anything to do with it.
Totally innocent. Totally innocent.
Maybe charitably we can say that Toadette doesn't understand her own power.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe she's the Scarlet Witch of the Captain Toad cinematic universe.
Ooh, I love that, especially with I'm not gonna nerd out over the new Marvel movie, Doctor Strange: Madness of the Universe. Yeah, just saying. Madness into the multiverse, I meant to say.
Eric, are you gonna try the mega skip on this level, or are we doing the?
I'm not.
Okay.
I tried it a lot of times. There is a way to use Toadette's large hitbox to our advantage here, but I'm not very good at it, so I will take a safe route.
Yeah, I also am not good at it, but basically you can fall into the fence that he's next to right now, and that will allow you to just sort of use Toadette's hitbox to walk right on over to where the star is. But it's really, really hard to do, so definitely no shame in doing the safer way. You lose about 20 to 30 seconds each time you try the mega skip.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward. And of course, the game would not be complete unless Toadette got her own rail shooter level.
Exactly.
I like to try this at the very beginning. There's a way I can collect this gem. Nice, I got it. You're not supposed to be able to collect that gem there, but because of how large the turnip hitboxes are, you can do it. Shredberg and I call that gamer gem. I think Happy Bear, you call it swag diamond, is that right?
It is the swag diamond, and if we get it, we will PB, so we got it. So this run is going to PB. I don't care how unlikely it is.
I want a PB. I like PBs, especially being Toadette and getting it. PB for me.
Yeah, there is another gamer gem later on that's also possible, so we'll have to see. Yeah, I like to collect enough coins to get 1-ups in these rail shooter levels for safety, just in case I need it. But I don't want to collect too many coins because then I'll accidentally complete a bonus objective and waste some time. So I will not be doing. It's for this level. It's 140, so I didn't even get close. And you only need 100 coins to get a 1-up.
Eric likes to be a high roller, but not too much of a high roller.
Right, gotta throw the cops off our trail. All right. This level I find very difficult to multitask, so I will not be talking.
I'm kind of curious as to why. So, Happy Bear, can you explain to me?
I will discourse upon Sinister Street Signs. So, basically, at the same time that you're running around on the platforms, you have to be using your blue dot to break all the blocks down there so that you can fall on that gem and immediately run. Because you're going to have a bunch of charge and chucks pop up and a bunch of mud zombies. So, yeah, it can be very, very challenging to multitask that, but looks like Eric's just doing a fantastic job of it.
Yeah, the camera angle that you're at there can affect how the blue dot goes because there's like an invisible platform above the area you're trying to blue dot. I don't know. It's a little rough.
Difficult to get a good angle.
Yeah, we're going to use Toadette's hitbox here to walk on this little tiny fence and skip this. This is also like a very egregious level that shows off the hitbox. Also, this level, we're only going to get 2 gems. I think every level thus far we've gotten 3, maybe not, but there's this red pipe here. And the red pipe is suspiciously close to where the star is. So I'm going to be attempting to just walk across this little gap straight to the star. It might take me a couple tries here. But yeah, you can just walk right across the gap using Toadette's large hitbox.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, this level, this entire skip is so broken. I love it so much.
That is so good. Oh, that's amazing.
It's probably my favorite skip in the game, honestly, because it's just so broken and so outlandish. So we're going to skip level 6, and we're going right into Sliding Sub Shuffle. And we get to use our blue dot interaction skills. And that's basically what this level boils down to. We do kind of a short little skip with Toadette. Saves about half a second. And then we're just running right up to the top.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, the way I'm controlling the blue dot is actually by the gyro controls in the controller. So I'm like tilting my hands all around to move it while I'm playing the level. It's not like a control stick or anything. So one joystick is the movement, one joystick is the camera, and the blue dot is with the gyro controls.
Yeah, so you're actually juggling 3 different axes, I guess would be the correct word for it. And yeah, again, it's a little bit more challenging than it looks.
Right. That's actually why I just graduated with a math degree. It's because I wanted to be able to speedrun Captain Toad better.
Oh, that's actually, honestly, that's the best reason I've ever have heard to get. I mean, honestly, if I went to school for video games, oh my goodness, I would love that personally. Because my degree's in psychology, and that's fun and all, but come on, that's better.
Eric has arranged his entire educational career and indeed his very life around speedrunning Captain Toad. You cannot get any more dedicated than that.
Yeah, do you think that this is just a costume for today? This is what I wear on a daily basis.
Eric J. Math is Captain Toad.
Ooh.
There's no difference.
Spoilers!
And now we have the Dragodon from earlier. Or I guess his name is Dragodon. I don't really know.
His name is Dragodon, and so Eric's going to be doing a lot of complicated stuff in this level. So he's gonna have to avoid Dragodon's poison breath blasts. I'm sure anyone who's ever woken up in the morning can relate. So first he resets the game to actually reset the cycles so that he gets better cycles. And then it's just kind of a cat and mouse game of trying to hit the right cycles and make sure that you don't get hit by the poison breath blasts.
Right. I actually do want to get hit at the very end of the level to avoid a bonus objective. So I'm going to try and not get hit until then.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, this level is this is a hard level for sure.
Oh, because the lava's rising.
This is probably the one that I've lost the most runs to, honestly.
Oh, is this the point where it could be a potential run killer?
This is a run killer level. For me, at least. Maybe not for Eric J. Math, the literal embodiment of Captain Toad, but definitely for me. I've lost a lot of runs to this level.
Yeah. You can actually tell this is the same Dragodon that Captain Toad saw earlier because the little bubble wound, whatever you want to call it, that's on his head already.
So the dragon has been concussed once, and now it's going to be concussed again. Again, I ask you, who's the villain here? Like, Toad and Toadette have just walked into this dude's house and stolen all of his money, and then they concuss him. I don't know, it doesn't seem very heroic to me.
And they keep on doing it to everybody. It's not just, I don't know. I think I'm starting to see who the true villains are. Or villain and villainess.
But I think we are friends now because look, this Dragodon is helping us get to the next level. We can ride the Dragodon. You can move up and down while you're on this Dragodon. You can breathe fire. However, there's not really a point to any of that because these coins that I'm collecting, they don't like add up to 100 and get a 1-up or anything. I don't get to collect these coins. It's just purely for fun, I guess. So that's okay. So I also normally take this time as a handbrake.
That's nice. It's actually really great that this game does have some like taking water breaks. It's always encouraging. That's nice.
Yeah.
I personally think that Toadette is using her Scarlet Witch powers to control them, the dragon, but, I can't confirm or deny that. I'm putting it out there, as a possibility.
Oh, we just...
by the way...
I was just going to say, we just need the Book of the Damned. And confirmed.
Well, hopefully we don't find the Darkhold in this game, but, who knows? We very well could. I've never seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not out there.
Like it's never seen before, huh?
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm getting spoiled my own Captain Toad speedrun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
I was gonna feel so bad
It's
for a
fine.
second
It's
there.
fine.
I may or may not have seen the movie twice by now. I'm so sorry.
By the way, Eric, just to give you some fuel for continuing the run, we have some comments in the run, or excuse me, in the chat. One of them says you have to have a very high IQ to understand Captain Toad. Another one says, I have seen Eric J. Math in real life and can confirm this, that you are in fact the literal embodiment of Captain Toad.
Dang.
So, you know, shine on, you crazy diamonds.
Okay, there's a very unique thing that occurs in this level only. So you might have seen it when I was fighting Wingo. I spun around really fast and like fell over. Turns out if I do that near an enemy, it actually has a hitbox. So I can defeat an enemy just by spinning near him very fast. And that's how I just finished that level. It's only used in the speedrun in this exact level and nowhere else. But it's very, very unique.
Here I go!
Another large hitbox moment, if I can get it. Yes, I can barely land on that brown box there. Get all these gems really quick. I don't know, how's everyone
Good.
doing?
I hope I didn't spoil the movie for you. Okay.
No, you're fine.
I'm sitting here
You're fine.
Eric's just messing with
Oh,
everybody.
okay. See, I'm very gullible. I am so gullible. You could tell me the sky is red and I'll probably believe it. And look outside and double check. Even though I know it's dark. It's nighttime.
Rue, the sky is definitely red.
Oh, is?
Are you not aware of that?
Wait. I'm gonna go check outside, okay? Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, go take a look real quick.
All right, this level has my least favorite mechanic, probably, is these clear pipes. I'll just say that because I'm able to control the camera and because the direction I'm holding changes like which fork in a path I take, if my camera is angled ever so slightly differently from like straight on, the controls get very wonky very quickly. So I need to be very careful with my camera here. I don't know, I was doing some runs and calls with friends the other day and I was very upset because like I accidentally moved my camera ever so slightly and the direction I held didn't line up with the direction I was actually moving and it cost me some time. But we did that pretty well, I think. All right. Now Toadette gets her own little walking cutscene. Another stretch break.
Yay, stretch break.
We do love
I,
those stretch breaks.
Yeah. Is there so for Toadette, if anybody ever wanted to cosplay as her, is there like something for her, like, because she has like pigtails, right? And I love those pigtails. And I'm just like, ooh, I like that. So I was just curious if that does exist physically.
I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to like look for it.
You know, Rue, my philosophy is be the change you want to see in the world.
Ooh, I could create one.
You can.
I just have to, I'll think about that. I could do crochet, but that would take a while. I could do a perler. That's what I could do. I can make a perler hat.
A Toadette perler.
Yes. Oh, and there are Toadette not perler hats. There are Toadette hats. On Etsy.
So you just need the pigtails.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's actually quite a few on Etsy. This is actually cool. This is why I love Etsy. Anywho, sorry, sidetracked. But I just love the pigtails.
Okay, this level has a lot to do at the very beginning, so I will be quiet for a moment while I do all these things.
Okie dokie. So I'm still on the whole like villainous. I mean, I don't know. When someone steals all the time, how do we feel about that? Like you just go into someone's home, you just steal all their stuff. What do we think on this?
You know,
I think that's pretty bad.
Rue, I think that in the real world we call that a burglar, and we put people like that in jail. So I leave you to make your own conclusions about what we should do with Toadette. But you know, it's just one of those things, you know.
See, I don't know. Whenever I'm playing like RPGs, I pilfer all the time. I steal all the time.
Same.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you are right because you know we do put bad people. So that's fair. Okay. But look how much we're stealing, right? We're stealing a lot.
Yeah, this is like beyond simple burglary. This is like larceny.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
This is corporate espionage.
Yes.
This is conspiracy to defraud on the largest scale that has been seen in the Mushroom Kingdom in 2 generations.
Exactly. See, I like where we're going with this because, you know, I thought there was a lot when it comes to the Mushroom Kingdom, but I think this is the biggest mind-blowing conspiracy that I've ever have seen in my whole entire life. And to be honest, it's a conspiracy that I can back on.
Yeah, I think the evidence is growing.
Yes. Especially as we continue the speedrun.
I'm going to be using a Toad Amiibo in this level.
Ooh.
Toad Amiibos are able to be used once a day, and we do use it in the speedrun. It basically grants an invincibility power-up that persists throughout the whole level. So I'm going to be using it to just kind of run into enemies instead of having to worry about, you know, throwing turnips at them, that kind of stuff. I think it saves time, maybe about 10 seconds. I don't know, maybe that's too much. It's hard to time things in this game. But, oh, my cat is having a hairball in the background.
Yep. I know that sound. I have two little ones of my own.
Oh no.
It's always fascinating when that happens.
That's Cat and Toad doing their thing.
Yep.
Poor guy. I'm sorry to everyone who has to hear this.
I mean, furballs are so, like, I always get worried because, you know, it doesn't sound pleasant and you're just like, are you okay? You know, and so, yeah, I definitely agree. It's a natural thing. And, you know, especially like my little one, Jocelyn, well, she's not little, she's a Maine Coon. She has a lot of hair. So,
yeah. Anyways, Goombas.
Yes, Goombas.
We like them. Cute little Goombas.
Yes.
I think it is much faster to just kind of stand here with the Goombas. The other option that I would be having to do if I didn't have the amiibo was to shoot them with this cannon here. And that would take a little bit longer. So, oh look, Captain Toad's over there with the star. Let's go save him. Isn't it suspicious that Wingo is not here?
It is very suspicious, Eric, I must admit.
Oh. Who could have foreseen this?
Ah, dang it.
Dun dun dun. I mean, this is Wingo Strikes Back after all.
It is.
Cat is on
Wingo
camera.
has struck back.
Yep.
We've got a confirmed cat on camera.
Aww.
Any cat enjoyers in chat?
Aww.
To be clear, that's not the one that had the hairball, as far as I can tell.
Okay. That one's like just chilling. Oh, now go. Oh, come back. Yes. So I did have a question.
Yeah.
I was wondering what got you into the speedrun. I know that but what kind of made you want to continue to speedrun it and everything like that?
Yeah. It's a good question. I think I kind of just randomly picked up this game one day and was like, hey, I'm just going to do a run. And so I challenged my friend Shredberg to a blind run where both of us don't play the game. We just see who can beat the game the fastest. And I think my time was like 3.5 hours or something, because I didn't know what to do. I just knew what levels I had to play and like what gems to try and collect, but I didn't know where they were or anything like that. So turns out I had a lot of fun and I just kept playing. And there's been times where I took some breaks. Like I said, I've been in school, so school gets in the way sometimes. But come back every once in a while just to play some more Toad. It's a very easy game to de-rust, I guess. So I think it's very nice, and like I said, it is relaxing. Very calm, lots of hand breaks, that sort of thing. So it's one of my favorite games for sure.
I mean, so for me, it was definitely a really fun. I loved the concept. I didn't realize how much of a multitasking game it was when it came to speedrunning, and that part actually intrigues me a lot because I really like multitasking. I do it in my job a lot. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see the how you're able to kind of switch the camera around and try to like that skip earlier with Toadette. It was just so good. That was just, I don't know, I love that. I love finding or seeing things like that.
Yeah.
Just remember, Rue, only the strong and brave speedrun Captain Toad.
I think you could handle it.
I believe it. I believe you have it in you, Rue.
Aww. I know, I do want to mention there are certain things coming up, Flame Patel's got to learn the run for that by that time kind of thing. But
I believe we are in the presence of a Frost Fatale's Captain Toad speedrunner.
Yeah, we are.
That is true. That is true. I did speedrun it at Frost Fatale's a couple months ago and had the time of my life. It was so fun. Everyone was so supportive, and we raised so much money for a good cause. I loved it.
Aww. Yeah, it was. I was actually. I was there. I'm just gonna say that I was there, and I saw the run, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Thank you, Rue. That's so nice. Yeah, we came, we saw, we conquered, and
yes.
And Captain Toad, the game was conquered. It was super fun. This is the grooviest level, by the way, in Captain Toad.
Oh yeah. Music is very good. So I collected 2 gems and then restart to get back on the cycle I wanted. I'm gonna have a large hitbox moment in a second. Just climb up that ladder, no problem. And I'm going to take intentional damage by throwing this turnip into this fire bros here to skip a bonus objective. And yeah, very nice level. That's my favorite music, like I said.
I don't know.
Music in this game is very good.
Yes. Honestly, okay, so even in the Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey, the levels where they have that time thing, the time mechanic where you're jumping on the blocks and everything, I don't know, I always like that music. It stands out to me a lot. I think it was more so in Mario Galaxy, if I recalled. It's where, so I just remember anyways, platforming. Yes, platforming's fun. Mario Galaxy is where Toad first appeared, so Captain Toad. And so I don't know, I fell in love after that. I was so happy when they announced this at E3. I think that's what I found out was E3.
Yeah, so this game is originally on Wii U, and things are a little bit different there. The run is slightly different.
Oh, interesting. How so?
A lot of the platforms. Okay, well, a couple things. You can't restart levels and keep your gems in Wii U. And a lot of the platforms that are on cycles in the Switch version are the ones you have to like blow into the microphone on the Wii U. So cycles are less of a thing, I think, in the Wii U version. I haven't tried to run it though, so I guess I can't really talk too much.
Here I go.
Yeah, I definitely like running the Switch version more. I've done both, and it's definitely Wii U is a trip because you're constantly like bending over your gigantic Battleship Wii U gamepad to like blow into the microphone to move the panels, and yeah, it's definitely it's a trip for sure. But you know, it has its advantages too. It can be enjoyable to watch somebody, you know, frantically blowing at their controller.
Oh, that's interesting to find out. I like knowing that there's actually differences in both, even though it's like the same game, even though it's different consoles, there's differences because of that reason. That's really cool. I forgot you could blow into the, I mean, you can still do it now, but yeah, I forgot you could blow into it to make the, I think, what was it that was the mechanic was for?
The yellow platforms that move back and forth.
Yeah, okay, that's right. I forgot about that. So I played this game when it came out, and it came out back in like, I think 2014.
Yeah, that's right, 2014.
So I totally forgot about that. It would be nice to just play this game again, even casually. Because even this, I remember this level where, isn't there like hidden, yeah. There was like hidden little things. I forgot what those little enemies are called.
Bitty buds.
Bitty buds, that's right.
Yeah,
They're always like...
They're adorable. They're adorable,
Yes.
and I want them all for stuffed animals in my living room.
Yeah, I don't know why they kind of... So I don't know what came first. Wait, no, Mario came first. Those Bitty Buds came... Like, they always remind me of the Ghibli from Spirited Away. The little... what do you call those little guys? But they kind of look similar. I wonder if, like, that Mario inspired that.
Maybe so. I don't know, but that would be interesting to ask.
Yeah.
Ask Miyazaki.
Yeah, just... Mr. Miyazaki. Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Did you completely rip off Super Mario Brothers in your
yeah.
movies?
Yeah. Totally fine, right?
It's the first thing you ask him. You see him, you're like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Did you rip this guy off?"
Yeah, that's a great first impression, right? I'm sorry, I just had to ask this. It's just been on my mind for I don't know how many years now.
This level that Eric has just completed with the cylinders is one of the most stressful levels in the game, in my humble opinion.
Yes.
You really have to concentrate on that one, and Eric just did it perfectly, so congratulations to Eric for finishing that really difficult one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a clip of me on Twitch that's like, yeah, I think I really understand this level. I don't ever fail it anymore. And then I immediately fail it like 1 second after I said that and die on the long cylinder at the end. So some karma for you.
So this level is just a bunch of moving platforms up and down, but the strategy with it is just kind of like knowing how to move the switches in the optimal order. So Eric has done that very well, and now we're moving into our last minecart level, our auto-scroller.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, there's 2 minecarts in this level, and the first one has no gems. So I can just like put the controller down and have a sip of water. I don't really have to do anything for this first little portion.
Those things always I don't know what it is about that movement with those little enemies, but they freak me out.
The ants.
Yes. I don't know why.
I don't know what their official name is, but I think there's some sort of ant creature.
I think their
Yeah.
official name is Creepy Ant. Creepicus anticus. That's the Latin name for it.
I love the Latin. I love that.
I know Latin, Rue. Like, I read a Latin word once, and suddenly I just knew. I knew how to do Latin.
Ooh, can you teach me? I need to learn. Like,
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Creepy Antinous. Did I even say it right?
No.
How do you say?
Okay, Gamer Gem number 2
Oh,
coming up,
gotcha.
just for the gamers in chat.
Gotcha.
Gamer Gen number 2. Everyone pay attention.
Got it. Easy.
GG easy.
You're supposed to not be able to get the gem from that side. You have to wait until you go all the way around and get it from this side. But gamer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's always what makes me love about speedrunning. It looks so easy, but if you were trying to do or replicate it yourself, it's not.
This man is not only a gamer, he is a mega gamer because he's gotten both gamer gems. And now we're gonna PB twice in one round. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but it's gonna happen.
I like PBing twice in one run. I think it's
Yeah.
possible.
Maybe it means that somehow we're just gonna skip to the end of the game and get world record immediately.
Yes.
That's how it works, you know?
Somehow.
Yes. Yes.
But before we do that, I believe we are taking a wellness break. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. I know you've had a few throughout this, but you know, it's always good to just take another, walk around, go to the bathroom, get a cozy blanket like I do right now with my Cuphead blanket.
So let me get into this thing where Toad can have a little nap, and then we'll have our wellness break. I think.
Yay! Oh, I don't know why, but it's so cute when I get to see Toad nap. Yeah, so anywho, we are going to just take a quick break for all of those that are watching. For everyone watching, I meant to say. So we will be right back in a few short minutes. Hello, everybody. I am bringing you some more Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And we are going to be coming back with our Wingo Strikes Back episode. In the meantime, just a few reminders before we get going on the run again. I want you to say a few things. Just bear with me. It's a couple things, okay? There's a lot of events coming up. There's Frame Hotels, SGDQ. This weekend, we could show you what was going on at PAX East. I would say definitely check out all these events that are going on. For Frame Fatales, we are going to be having it late in August for Flame Fatales. So definitely bring the fire to that. It's going to be super hot. That came out interesting. So anywho, we are having game and volunteer submissions open right now until May 22nd. So get those submissions in. There's only 2 days left. And I think it's like at midnight. So yeah, definitely work on that. AKA, I need to work on that too. So anyways, if you type Command FF in chat, if you want to get some more information, you can do so. So for SGDQ 2022 coming up, that's going to be, next month, end of June, right around the corner. Looking forward to it. So if you want to check out the website for more information, just definitely go there. Also, just a reminder, registration is capped. And if you did register, remember to update your vaccine info on the site by May 23rd. And last but not least, we got this weekend starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. If you missed PAX East, they will be broadcasting some footage on the speedruns. So definitely check that out. There was a whole speedrunning stage. You should tune in for that. Definitely. All right. So Eric J and Happy Bear, are we ready?
I think we're ready.
I think we're ready. Let's get going
Yeah.
with episode 3, Return of the Toad.
Oh, 3. Oh, whoops. Sorry. When we had a break, my Wingo stroked me back. So, yes, I am ready for episode 3.
Yeah, we're like halfway through episode 3 now, in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm like 2. Where did 2 go? Anywho, let's get into 3. And like we've been in 3. And so, if you can start the countdown for me.
Yeah, sure. We can resume the run in 3, 2, 1, and go. Little bird on top of Toad's head there, just having a little sit.
Pretty precious.
And what better way to start off the run again with another stretch break?
Yes. we could just add a little stretch. We could sneak in there. Oh, that is such a cute cutscene. Okay, I'm playing this game again, okay? Thank you for just like being on my show. I'm gonna go play Toad after this. Well, not right after. Probably like next day after.
Oh, come on, Rue. Just like 4 a.m. Captain Toad speedruns. I want to see it.
Sure.
All right. Another hitbox moment in this level. You just walk across this gap here to get this gem. I'm going to be really quick here. Need to get this gem, and then I'm going to be racing against the clock a little bit here to try and get to the top before the panels disappear from underneath my feet.
This might be the scariest trick in the game, in my opinion, honestly. It is so scary.
Yeah, you know, if you can see, I like just barely the panel disappeared, like right before right after I got off of it. So it's very, very precise skip there. Now this level, we've been talking a lot this run about large hitboxes being very nice for us. Here's an example of large hitboxes being not a good thing. So there is a turnip shot. You can kind of see this gem in the top middle of your screen right now. I'm going to be trying to hit that with this turnip here through this little awning thing. I don't know what you want to call it, a gazebo. Because the turnip hitboxes are so large, oh, I missed a shot. That shot can be very precise to line up, and there's no crosshairs or anything, as you can see when I use the cannon. So it's definitely not easy to get that shot lined up. But we did okay. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, that was alright.
Yeah.
That was probably an average cannon shot, I'd say.
I thought that was great.
You can also see those other 2 shots. I also was like not even close to hitting the turnip, and I actually hit the turnip. So this level has evil and good all at once.
Yes, it does.
I do. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say this level has good and evil in it, just like most humans. So just think about that for a little bit. This game is so philosophical.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, I did have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
What would your favorite level be in the speedrun?
My level is actually coming up next. Not this golden one, but the one after.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm tempted to say the last level because it's the last one, and that means the run is over. But I think the sunset auto scroller it's episode 2, world 3, and it's just super fun and chill, and you can do the swag diamond in it, and just super fun.
Oh no. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Yep, this is fine.
Oh my.
We're fine. Everything's fine. No
Okay.
problem. Intentional. That was some RNG manipulation for later.
Definitely. We're gonna.
Definitely.
That's how we're gonna get the PB. Is just because of that right there. Then we're gonna get so much RNG manipulation.
There's Chai Kitty skip. We just did it. I hope everyone's proud.
I'm
Chai
proud.
Kitty.
Aw.
I am beyond proud. I am honored to witness Chai Kitty skip.
I'll explain a little bit about what happened. So turning around in this game is actually a movement tech. It doesn't sound like it, like you're just turning around, right? But if you do a hard turn, like a full 180 on your, like really quick, just left to right or back to front, whatever, Toad does like a skidding animation and actually like loses all of his speed, or Toadette's her speed if we're playing as Toadette. So I try and do these little, like, kind of like a U-turn sort of thing. And I cut that one a little short, so I did my little U-turn and didn't quite hit the gem. That's what happened there.
By the way, shout outs to Chai Kitty. Any Chai Kitties in chat? Any Chai Kitty enjoyers? And yeah, it's not often you get an entire skip named after you, but there you go.
I don't have a skip named after me, so.
I was gonna say, can we, how do we petition for our names to get into any of the tricks for the speedrun?
Well, Eric, as you remember, I did try to name a skip after you, but it was the one that like you can only get if like a rogue proton affects your switch. So
I do remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I don't know how I did it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we do have an Eric J. Math skip. We're just not sure if it's repeatable or not.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where you can't name a skip after yourself. Only someone else can name the skip after you.
I'm gonna have a petition going. Okay, don't worry.
I did discover something in another game that we have affectionately called Math Clip. For any of my friends that are in chat right now. Hello, Cat, running across my desk.
Makes an appearance. So Math Clip, what is Math Clip exactly?
Yeah, there's an obscure game that has actually been on GDQ before called Eat Girl.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. Cat, you're in the way. I can't see.
Oh no.
My cat was sitting right in front of my monitor. I couldn't see what was happening. Oh my goodness.
And
okay, we're good now.
This is not the level that you want to not be able to see on?
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so we have to escort this charge and chuck throughout the entire level. That's why I had to restart there, because I couldn't see what was happening.
Oh yeah,
It's,
I can see
cat
why.
RNG.
Cat RNG. Just need to do a cat manip RNG next.
Yeah. So the reason we need this charge and chuck is because he has to break this block right here for me, so I can climb up this ladder and get the gem. Thank you for your service, charging chuck. And I miscounted levels earlier, so when you asked me about my favorite level, it's actually the one coming up right now. This next one here.
Okay.
Now, this is a very long level. I have to climb up this entire tower that's going to be here, all while avoiding Magikoopa magic and dealing with these stumpers and their cycles. But I like it because there's just a lot to do. So start by running up the back here, going through a pipe. It's also pretty predictable in terms of if you get the cycles the same every time, so that's nice. But there's a lot of opportunity for some small like time save or swag strats. So I'm going to throw this key onto this platform by banking it off the wall a little bit, just to make sure it actually lands on the platform, because that can be difficult.
Eric's basketball skills, second to none as a result of this level.
Throw the key through the piranha plant to get it in the door. Don't go in the door right now, because that would be silly. We're gonna come back to get the gem that was inside that locked door.
Who goes through doors right away? I always like approach a door and then step away from it and then go through the door. That's how the cool people do it.
Yes. And then almost done now. We're getting close to the top. I'm going to try and fall down onto these stumpers here. They're not really on this favorable cycle, but close enough. Get the last gem, and then my favorite part is at the very end. We're going to climb up this ladder, see if we can shoot these Magic Koopas with this cannon here without stopping. Let's see. Amazing. I think that's what the gamers call 2 quick ones.
Ooh, that was good.
Just
really
really, really good targeting. Because that cannon can be pretty finicky to use, so you got to practice a little bit to get good shots like that.
All right, now Toad gets to ride the Golden Dragodon from earlier.
Aww. Everybody's... it's all fair to ride the Golden Dragon.
You know, I like to call this Golden Dragodon Swagadon.
Swagadon?
That's a good name.
I like that. You know what? I wouldn't mind being a Golden Dragon.
Rue, you're a Golden Dragon already in our hearts.
Aww, thank you. Oh, you're melted. Oh, I'm so melted right now. In my heart. Melting would be bad for me. Thank you.
I don't want to have your melting on my conscience. So please, stay whole, stay stable, stay solid.
Well, everybody's a Golden Dragon to me. I think everybody are Golden. Oh my goodness, that was so sweet.
All right.
Thank you.
Speedrunning, right?
Yeah, speedruns. I definitely, I can see why that was your favorite level, because it's, okay, so it's on the longer side, but it seems like there's a lot more going on. And oh boy, I see funny things.
This is
that level is very cool.
This is one of the coolest skips in the game. I love it so much. It's so hard sometimes, but when you get it, it feels so good.
That is so good. Oh.
Yeah, large hitboxes all the way around.
Large hitboxes.
I've never realized how large hitboxes are so advantageous. That's interesting.
Right, yeah, lots of skips.
Any of you watching this with large hitboxes, just remember you are awesome and you can do cool speedrunning skips because of them.
No matter what size your hitbox is, IRL, speedrunning is fun.
Yeah.
And welcoming to all of them, everyone. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Who knew that Captain Toad is so philosophical and inspirational? And this is like the perfect speedrun. So, you know, for anyone who is a human, this is the perfect speedrun. Sorry, all dragons in chat. This may not be the game for you. I don't know where I'm going with this either. It must be getting a little bit late.
Yeah, it's becoming cute after dark.
Captain Toad after dark.
Yeah, Captain Toad. Or we're having the Eric J. Math and Happy Bear after dark.
Yeah, who knows? Fun fact, in this game, you can actually turn off your headlamp.
Oh, really?
And on accident, sometimes you can turn off your headlamp and wonder why the boos aren't disappearing when you look at them. And I didn't know that one time, and I turned off my headlamp, and the boo was still coming after me, and I was afraid. Didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the moral of the story is, don't turn off your headlamp, or else ghosts will come after you and maybe eat you.
Yeah.
I should turn on my headlamp IRL. I actually don't think it's charged, but I think it would turn on, so I'm not going to do it because it might like blind the camera or something.
Oh, that's fair. But it's actually good to know that it turns on, though. That's actually really cool.
It's a real functional headlamp, yeah. I've used it one time, like on a hike at nighttime, so it does work.
Oh, that is good. That's really cool, actually. Safety first. I mean, when you go on adventures, you need to have a good light on.
Yes. When you're tracking treasure.
Exactly.
So much folksy wisdom in chat tonight. I love it. So
Yeah,
this particular... Go ahead, Rim, sorry.
No, you.
I was just going to say, this level depends a lot on cycles. So depending on when you hit the cycles, you're either going to damage boost through those bitty buds at the end, or you're going to go around them, and we went around them. So you just got to do a little situational thinking, a little bit of that multitasking, and get through that level.
Yeah. This level, you can hold this entire platform in place with the blue dot and skip some cycles. I don't know why they allowed that to happen, but you can do that.
Oh my goodness.
It really breaks the level because so if you're doing the all levels new game plus category, for instance, where you don't collect any gems and you just get to the end as fast as you can, you literally pause the structure and then run and grab the start, and it takes about 5 seconds.
Yep.
Seriously, yeah, it's one of the sillier parts of this game.
Oh wow, that's so fast. And yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
All right, maybe this could be called math clip. I already messed it up though. I discovered something in this level yesterday and did it in a speedrun, like on accident.
Do tell.
You can actually get the first little spike ball here to break the platform for you, so you're not trapped there. But it's very fast, and like I didn't do it on purpose. So maybe not. Maybe not. I don't want that named after me because I can't even do it if I want to.
That's good to know for sure. I did not know that you could do that. This is one of the more tedious levels in my opinion, because you have to avoid a bunch of these little piranha plant guys. Those are actually piranha plants, believe it or not, even though they don't look a whole lot like traditional piranha plants. But yeah, just having to get all the cycles and avoid the plants and the spikes, and it's not the most fun level in Captain Toad.
There's definitely a lot going on.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were piranha plants. I thought they were just... Okay, that's
They
interesting.
actually are piranha plants, interestingly enough.
Yeah. I really, really did not think that they were piranha plants, to be honest with you.
All right, I'm gonna be trying to skip in this level. We'll see how it goes. Also a large hitbox moment. I'm gonna hit this P-switch and walk on this little railing. Try and land on top of this cannon. Nice, I got it.
He gets it.
I'm not gonna go for the second half of that skip, which is much harder. But there is a way to kind of skip some more of the level, but I'm not too good at that one.
So if I were to say I'm really good at multitasking, is this a good speedrun to learn for me? If I'm really good at multitasking?
I still think so, yeah. I like to think so. It definitely takes some adjustments, like getting from like, okay, I can beat all the levels, you know, I know where all the gems are, I know all the strats of like the basic run, and then really like getting better at the game requires more and more like multitasking and doing lots of things at the same time to reduce your time. So it's definitely like you can gradually like ease yourself into it for sure.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased, of course. I think this is a great run.
Rue, I'd say, yeah, this is a very, very easy game to get into as far as speedrunning goes, because there aren't a ton of like crazy skips or tricks or anything. You just do the movement.
Right.
But once you start getting into the meat of it, you do start having to multitask and kind of balance all these different moving parts of the levels in your mind, then it starts getting hard. So I would say that this is a great beginner level speedrun that keeps on giving as it gets more advanced, which I think is a mark of a really good speedrun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it's nice to, I don't know. The whole multitask is interesting to me and it's appealing to me. So I'm very curious on how I, like when I'm playing it, how it would work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, you may have noticed I didn't get any gems in that level. We got the 155 that we needed throughout the whole run so far. We just have one more level. It's the final Wingo fight. There is a skip at the beginning, similar to the one in the last Wingo level. It's much more difficult. I'm going to be attempting it here. It's possible that I don't get it and it looks like everything is fine. So there is a way to skip a cycle here. So I'm gonna try that now. So we'll see how it goes. Basically, there's a wind trigger, another trigger for Wingo to warp, to start blowing wind, and I'm gonna attempt to not cross that trigger as I fall down here. And then run as soon as he starts doing a little shiver animation. I got a little caught in the corner there, so I might not make it. Yeah, just barely. So I was trying to get across the top of this box here before he started blowing the winds, but didn't quite get it. That's okay. That's a really big time save. It saves like 20 seconds, I believe, just from that really precise movement. I didn't think I was going to get it because I bonked the corner ever so slightly when I was running. So that's how like little time you have to spare on that trick.
Yeah, definitely a lot harder. Wingo 2 skip is a lot harder than Wingo 1, but definitely worth going for if you are interested in super good times or world record or something. That's kind of a necessity at this point.
Yeah. I'm not going to take his pity mushroom, Mr. Blue Toad.
Yeah, I always avoid getting that mushroom from him. Usually because, there's no point. But it is nice to see all of your little toad friends one last time as you venture towards almost certain death in the lair of Wingo.
One last little cheeky hitbox skip there, and one final one up at the top here, using the wind.
We do love using the wind to skip things.
All right, and now we're on to the final Wingo fight. So just like in the first fight, you can skip a cycle if I get all 3 of the turnips really quick, but it's much more difficult because there's these lightning orbs that are kind of on the ground that I don't really have control over. I don't know, this could work out, we'll see.
Cross your fingers, everyone.
Where's he gonna go?
Use
That's the worst spot he could have gone. Okay.
Oh, darn it.
We'll still try it. Dang, okay. Not quite quick enough there. That's okay. Oh, and I missed the throw. All right, that's fine. We still have 2 more throws to defeat Wingo here. Gonna see where he drops his turnips this time. Just get an extra one just in case. Where's he gonna go?
This last battle is really tense.
Ah, dang. Okay, so I didn't get the 3rd throw quite fast enough, so you'll see the little animation that plays when Toadette gives me a 1-up. That's what I was trying to avoid, but can't always fully control that. We just have 1 more turnip throw, and then after we hit Wingo the final time will be when I touch the star that appears. So we're just waiting for our last turnip here. Please give me a turnip, Wingo. Thank you. All right. He's gonna play this animation. I don't know exactly what's happening here. He eats too many turnips and gets fat. I don't know. Maybe he's allergic to turnips.
Turnips, I guess they are explosives on the inside?
Perhaps. I don't know.
The moral of the story is do not eat turnips. Whatever you do, you will explode and fall over wherever you are.
Yeah. I will definitely not eat any turnips.
Do you know anyone who eats turnips? I don't.
Time. Sadly, no.
Look how happy they are. Toad says mama or whatever.
Aww.
Yay. GG, Eric.
Now we get to watch the credits again.
Credits, take 2. Well, while we're watching the credits, if anybody was interested in the speedrun, is there a place, like if they have any questions, is there a Discord, if they're wanting to learn, can they ask everybody, if they can ask you, Eric J. Math or Happy Bear, what would you recommend how to start the speedrun?
Yeah, so there is a Captain Toad speedrunning Discord. You can find the link on speedrun.com/ I think the abbreviation is CTTT for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Other than that, I am always willing to help anyone who wants to learn this speedrun. I'm in the middle of attempting to translate a guide from a Japanese runner into English. It's proving very difficult because I do not really speak Japanese or read. But using my knowledge and Google Translate, we're making some progress on that. But honestly, just play the game. And I'm available on Discord, or I have a Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while because I've been finishing school, but you can find me on Twitch. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me however you like. I don't know how to share my Discord, I guess. There's the numbers after my name, but is that okay to say? Can I say that?
Whatever. How about what I would do is I'm gonna link your speedrun profile. Is that
Perfect.
okay? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let's
perfect.
do it that way, just to be safe in that regards.
Yeah, I think my Discord is linked there for sure.
Yes. Okay, then I will do that. Just so that anyone watching YouTube, just kind of thing. So I will link I see, they're both there. Okay, cool. So there you go. For anyone who is...
Yeah. So we watched the credits. Turns out this game was an ad for Super Mario Odyssey the whole time. Who knew?
Who knew? Super Mario Odyssey, spoilers. Guess what? We're having a Super Mario Odyssey.
But now we're going to switch places, and I am going to run Super Mario Odyssey. It will be my first 80% run ever, and it's going to take us all night. So cuddle up, everyone. We're settling in for the long haul.
Yep, stay tuned. We'll be taking a quick break and bringing you back some more. No. Happy Bear, if anybody wants to find you or has any questions, let them all know, or even just to watch you speedrun. If you have a Twitch or any plugins, you are more than welcome to provide. I did provide some plugins in chat for everybody, but, just saying.
Yeah, thank you, Rue. So I have a Twitch channel. I speedrun Captain Toad, and also Star Fox Guard, which is a tower defense game that no one except me has ever speedrun. So it's fun. I love speedrunning. I don't have a Discord, but you can hang out with me on Twitch. And just want to shout out as well, there's a really good beginners Captain Toad speedrunning guide on speedrun.com. And I used that to get a pretty good time. I think I ended up getting like a 135 with it, and then I transitioned to some more advanced strats. But I would use that for anyone who wants to get into Captain Toad speedrunning. It's super clear, super helpful, and is a pretty relaxing speedrun. I just want to shout out the other Captain Toad speedrunners for making this a fun community. There's never been a better time to get into Captain Toad speedrunning, and Eric and I have been super happy to share this with you tonight and have a really fun time.
Well, thank you both for being on the show. I had a blast. Definitely. Oh, it was really, really fun. I am just going to say just a few things before we head on out. Just a quick little reminder. We do have all the future events coming up. If you have any questions, you can check the website. But if anybody was curious, if we always have shows, we upload the shows to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can always check us out on the twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick. If you're interested in looking at our live content, we do have hotfix shows going on at weeknights at 7 p.m. They start at, Eastern time. And then on the weekends, it's at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I just wanted to say thank you all. I just had so much fun. This was a wonderful time. And I will be back in 2 weeks from now. We'll be having some more cute and cozy games to show. Both of everybody, thank you. And I had so much fun, like I said. And so we're going to just end the show here. Sorry, spoilers, we're not doing a Super Mario Odyssey 80% more run. But hey, it's not a bad idea. So we will be back with more 2 weeks from now. See you then. And everybody have a good night, good day, and I will see you all soon.